lead attorney here. Hope you guys are doing well, man. Listen. Oh, Fanny. Fanny. Oh, struggle streaming already. I'm struggle streaming already. How are y'all doing? Man, the saga continues. You know, I went to law school 3 years, graduated, took the bar exam. I went to law school at the great University of Georgia School of Law. Don't go dogs. Go dogs. We passed the bar on the first time. All right, now Nathan, what's his name? Nathan Wade and Terrence Bradley. I ain't even gonna go into the school they went to. Shout out to all the schools. I'm not gonna school shame. The point is, after graduated, took the bar, I practiced for over 20 years. Little did I know that I was in the wrong profession. I should have been a farmer. I should have been a farmer. You know, wake up 5 a.m, put on my overalls, go out there to the barn, get my little stool, and I got a little bucket. Who knows what I'm about to do? I got a stool and a bucket. And I go over to Big Mabel. I go over to Big Bertha. I go over to Big Fanny. Set down my stool and I nestle in. It's 5:15 in the morning. I know they cold. Fanny, I know they cold. I'm sorry, I gotta do it to you, baby. Oh, my old lady, you know, she's gotta make the egg, she's gotta make the toast, but we need some milk. Okay. We need some milk, Fanny. Oh man, I'm in the wrong profession. I should have been a farmer. Guys, this never ends. This never ever ends. Just tugging on the udders. Look at what we got. Let me show you, man. Donald Trump is okay, Judge. I heard what you said. You know, you want to do this with Nathan, but then you want to do this with Fanny. You know, I want to appeal. I want to appeal. What do we got? State of Georgia versus Donald J. Trump, Rudolph Giuliani. I was going to say something, but let's keep it going. Defendants joint motion for a certificate of immediate review. And we are going to break this down, guys. We got so much to get into. Now, of course, I can't even do it right if I ain't got my number one sidekick in the house. Let's go and bring her up. We got AV.
Hi, guys.
We got AV to the 7 power. AV, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me here on YouTube at the handle that you see below at AV to the 7 power, where we cover all things law, true crime. Over there, you can find me on Instagram at AV7official. You can also find some shirts. I think you guys were looking for some shirts that might have said, "That was cute." Those shirts are now available for purchase. You might want to find it.
Awesome. So if y'all want to purchase those shirts, go over to AV's community tab. You can also go onto my community tab as well. Let me give a big shout out to the sponsor of the last stream. Shout out to Angela with 2 L's.
Angela.
With 2 L's. Fanny and Nathan, 2 L's. Nathan and Fani representing 2Ls, the beautiful, beautiful Angela, supporting your boy so hardcore. Thank you so much, Angela. I always say the person who gives the biggest super chat is the sponsor of the stream. I want to shout out Nancy Hart. Thank you so much, Nancy Hart. Nancy Hart gave me a $100 super thanks. Y'all don't even know what a super thanks is. It's rarely used to support us content creators, but Nancy knows all about it, and she sent your boy a $100 super thanks. So I'm gonna go on and have her as the sponsor of the stream. Somebody write Nancy in the chat. Thank you so much, Nancy. Super, super generous of you. Oh, we got some milking to do. On Fani, Nathan's boo. I'm riding on accident. All right. Now, before we get into it, I'm looking at my likes. Oh, you got
Oh no, guys.
We got 3,000 people in the house. That means we need 1,500 likes. But y'all ain't there. Nancy supporting with $100. Angela with 2L supporting for 500. Me and AV, we never ask you for a cent. All we ask you for sometimes is a little like, and the likes are free.
Mm-hmm. You can do it.
Sometimes y'all like punishment. Y'all like punishment. So we are going to make this members only just until we get the likes looking right, guys. I feel like I got to give you some motivation. All right, get my likes looking right. All the members, come on in, group hug. I want y'all in the chat, and I want to see what y'all think about what is going on. All right. So shout out to Nancy, shout out to Angela with the 2 L's. Membership has its privileges. Shout out to Ron. All right, let's get into it. Now, how did we get here? That is the question. Some of y'all are just getting up on game about what the hell is going on. Well, we got one Donald J. Trump. He is being indicted. He has been indicted for some type of election interference, right? And so Fani appointed Nathan, who she was sucking off, to prosecute him. Well, they started going on trips. Money was going back and forth. Stuff looked a little shady. Long story short, Donald Trump and the other co-indictees were like, Judge, get both of these people off the case. Get Fani off the case and get Nathan off the case. Nathan already sketchy as hell. Fani over there sucking him off. Like, what are we doing here? We are entitled to a fair trial. We are entitled to fair prosecutors. All right. What happened? Well, the judge late Friday issued an order. And what does the order say? You know, the order goes on and it lists out that, yeah, you know, there was an affidavit stating that the district attorney didn't get any benefit, that the cash was roughly divided equally, right? Y'all read this order. And the judge talked about the actual conflict of interest. The judge was like, was there a conflict of interest? Was there not? And so the judge goes all through this order. Now, we read this order, I think, on Saturday. Me and AV had to milk her on Saturday. That's how you know when you're a true farmer. You got to work every day. All right? Somebody write farming in the damn chat. So at the end of the day, what happens? Well, let's go to page 2. We can see it right here. The judge says, listen. Where's the judge at? I done lost the damn thing. At any rate, let's see. I think it should be here. The judge says, I can't find it. Fuck it. What does the judge say? The judge says, listen, Fani, you got 2 options, baby. They on a first name basis. Did y'all know? The judge was paying Fani during her election, and the judge actually worked under Fani. So, you know, back in the day, they Fani, and what is the judge's first name?
Scott.
It's Fani and Scott.
Scotty.
Scotty. All right, how you doing, little Scotty? Annie and Scotty. Somebody I heard say the judge was 32 years old.
34.
Is he 34 or 32? Are you sure?
I think it's 34. We're the same age.
Yeah, I just heard somebody today, some attorney was saying that he was 32.
Hmm.
At any rate, young as hell. Fanny's in her 50s. And so you got that dichotomy working there. And the judge said, well, you, Fanny, can stay on the case. You can withdraw from if you want to. Withdraw from the case. But if you want to stay on, I'm going to allow that. But you have to do my dirty work. I don't want to get my hands dirty. So you can decide. If you want to stay on, that's fine. But you need to cut your boyfriend out of the deal. Your boyfriend got $400,000, $500,000, ran it up to $600,000. The latest figures that we have show that he's making over $700,000. Now, y'all are in y'all's 50s. I'm 30, let's say 34. So, I don't want to be the bad guy. I just got here. I've been a judge for less than a year. Fanny, you're old school. So, Fanny, you go on and do it. And let me be clean because I'm running for re-election, right? 2 people have come out against him. I've got mortgages to pay, Fanny. I got these kids. I got a new wife. I'm 32 years old. Don't do me like this, Fanny. You go on ahead and make the decision. All right. So this is what this order basically says, and it gives a lot of reasons. The judge says, he smelt the odor of mendacity. Right. But the judge said, I don't want to get my hands dirty. So I'm going to let you, Fanny, go ahead and make the decision. Now, who saw that Tom Cruise movie? There was a Tom Cruise movie. It was like Tom Cruise was a damn samurai. Y'all remember that movie?
Oh, The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai. And they captured this samurai, one of the rival samurais. They captured him on the battlefield. He was like the top dog. He was the number 1 samurai, and they captured him. And they took him back to the compound, and they put him in a room. And there was nothing in the room, and he was just kneeling down in the room. You know how they sit. They don't really sit in chairs. And he was just in the room. He wasn't in handcuffs, wasn't in shackles, clean room, nicely ventilated, clean. And he was just sitting there, a prisoner of war, a hated samurai. And then what happened? They slid back that door, and then they came in. And they were looking at him, and they had a knife in their hand. And what they do with the knife? Anybody remember what they do with the knife? They sat that thing right down in front of them. They gave him the knife. They gave him the knife. They turned around, walked out the door, and closed the door. Right? What's the significance of that? Well, the judge says, Fanny, I'm not going to do anything. You handle it. You decide. What did Fanny do? What did Fanny do? Do you think Fanny told the judge, I'm gonna take this knife and I'm gonna cut Nathan off? I'm gonna cut him off? No. What did we see? We saw Fanny just go in and just dump the knife in the damn room. What do we got here? We got from Wade and Campbell firm, Nathan Wade's firm, the Honorable T. Willis, March 15th, the same day that the judge issued the order. Here come Nathan Wade with a letter. Oh, I wonder what the letter says. Because I thought the judge said that Fanny had to take that knife and cut him off. Fanny took that knife and was like, boy, if you don't take this goddamn knife.
You don't stab yourself in the gut.
Okay. Come on now. You were stabbing me in the gut. In the Dogwood address. Now it's time to stab yourself in that same gut. All right, you wanted some guts? We about to see some guts. Well, what did we get? We got Dear District Attorney Willis. Oh, Nathan. Oh,
Nathan.
my man says, in furtherance of the rule of law and democracy, it's always been our North Star. Who talks like this? Nathan don't talk no like Nathan ain't said the words North Star since he was in 6th grade. All right. North Star. ChatGPT wrote this for Nathan. Nathan ain't said the words North Star in 30 years. All right. It's been our North Star. Our team is dedicated to ensuring that a Fulton County jury in Fulton County courtroom renders a true and just verdict. As directed by the order today, I hereby offer my resignation. And it's weird saying that it's directed because the order did not direct him.
It didn't. It gave him a choice.
Exactly. It gave Fani a choice. The order ain't even talked to Nathan. It talked to Fani. Right? The order, do you see what happened? The judge had a knife. The judge could have taken Fani and Nathan out. The judge gave the knife to Fani. Says, hey, you cut him out. Fani took the knife. So now Fani can cut him out. Do you think Fani cut that man out? No. Fani gave Nathan the knife. Do you see how everybody's passing the knife down? Nobody wants to do the deed, right? But now we got old Nathan talking about he resigns. He offers his resignation effective immediately. Although the court found that the defendants failed to meet their burden, that Fani acquired an actual conflict of interest, I am offering my resignation in the interest of democracy. And it's interesting because this case started a while back. If it was in the interest of democracy, why didn't you take the knife to yourself back then?
Correct.
Right? I am proud of the work our team has accomplished in investigating, indicting, litigating this case, seeking justice for the people of Georgia. I am sure that this case and the team will be in good hands moving forward, and justice will be served. You, the team on this case, and the entire office have my prayers for your safety and for your success in this pursuit of justice. All right. That's what Nathan has said.
Look at the signature.
Look at the signature. That is an attorney's signature. If y'all saw my signature, it looks just like that. All right. You can never tell what an attorney's name is based on their signature. All right. So Nathan does the deed. Fani goes in there, gives him the knife. Immediately thereafter, what do we see? Immediately, bam, March 15th. Hey, Nathan Wade, Esquire. Dear Mr. Wade, it's so weird that, it's Mr. Wade. Last year she was sucking him off, but now it's Mr. Wade. All right. It's kind of, it's kind of weird.
She didn't even change the font. She didn't even change it from Calibri.
Right. It's so weird when y'all have these relationships at work and y'all gotta be, in the boardroom, in the conference room, knowing at night y'all are sucking each other off. But anyway, dear Mr. Wade, I have received your bloody knife, aka resignation letter, and I accept it effective immediately. Compliment you on your professionalism and the dignity that you have shown over the last 865 days, for which he collected hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have endured threats against you and your family, unjustified attacks in the media and in court on your reputation. I will always remember. What will you remember, Fani? What will you remember? Terrence talked about that fax room. You had that back room in your office before you were a DA. You had that fax machine back there, and Terrence told us what Nathan did to you over that fax machine. What will you be remembering? What will you really remember out of this case? This case is so messed up, guys, so messed up. He took a brave step forward to take on this case. He's an outstanding advocate. In the last 865 days you served on this case, you completed a thorough investigation that required the use of a special purpose grand jury to compel the testimony of witnesses inside and outside of court. It's so interesting that she talks about the need for a special grand jury to compel the testimony of witnesses when Congress is right now trying to compel her participation in an investigation.
Mm-hmm. Great point.
You led a team that secured a true bill of indictment against 19 individuals who are accused of violating Georgia law to undermine the 2020 election. Please accept my sincere gratitude and the $700,000 of Fulton County tax money on behalf of the citizens of Fulton County, Georgia, for your patriotism, courage, and dedication to justice. I wish you the best in your future endeavors, Fani Willis. All right. So this is where we at now. So that's kind of
signature.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it ended up. Now, how do you think Donald Trump took the news that Nathan was out, but Fani was still in? How does really that even make sense? What were they doing on top of the fax machine with Fani bent over? What were they doing in the back room? If you would have walked in, if you would have walked through the front door, past the receptionist, walk all the way down the hallway, past Fani's office on the left, keep going, past the stairs, then past another associate's office that was on the right, keep going all the way back, hasta el fondo. There's a little office all the way down the hall to the right. You stop in there, you're real quiet, you see the doorknob, you look down at it, you reach in because you hear some commotion in that room. And it's got one of those opaque glass, those office doors, but it's got a glass you can kind of see, but it's fogged out. You're seeing some movement. It's something back there. And you turn that knob and you open the door, and what do you see? You see an animal. You see a beast. It's a beast with two backs. Oh, you see a beast with two backs. Somebody write beast with two backs. That's what you're looking at. All right. Does it make sense to split the beast in half, throw out one back, but keep the other? Why are you keeping one back while throwing out the other back? Throw away both backs. Somebody say throw away both backs. Why are we keeping one back? I don't understand it. I don't understand why we're keeping one back. I can't figure it out. Why are we keeping one? Just if you're gonna throw away one back, throw both backs away.
He's in rare form tonight, guys. I'm just saying.
I don't understand. Did somebody write both backs? All right, so that's what, I don't understand it. And honestly, Donald Trump didn't understand it. And so he says, well, I am going to appeal. I'm going to appeal this. I think, Judge, you should have thrown away both backs. Doesn't make sense just to keep one. And so what does he file? What does Donald Trump and the other co-indictees, what do they file? They filed this. Bam.
There it
Bam.
is.
State of Georgia filed today, filed just a few hours ago. State of Georgia versus Donald John Trump. President Trump in the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia. Guys, if you don't know who I am, mucho gusto. I am the lead attorney, 20-year attorney right down the street. I have practiced in Atlanta, Fulton County. I was born and raised here. Practiced here all my life. All right, this is all I know. This is all I ever knew. And they're filing it right down the street. All right, and what are they asking for? What is this document? It is defendants' joint motion for a certificate of immediate review. What is this? Well, guys, if you appeal a case, usually you have to wait till the case is over. All right. You got to wait till the case is over. You can't appeal a case normally while the case is ongoing. But every now and then, issues arise during a case that are so important, you need to say, wait, stop the press, stop the press. I am going to appeal this while the case is ongoing. But if anybody could do this willy-nilly, everybody would do it. Because the judge in a case, guys, a judge may make 20 rulings, 30 rulings. In the YSL case, the RICO case that is going on right now, I am positive that the judge has made probably 500 rulings.
There's so many.
So wouldn't you like, after every single ruling that goes against your way, nope, I'm going to appeal this. Nope, I'm going to appeal that. You would never get through with a trial if you could appeal every single ruling whenever you want it. So the way the system is in Georgia, you have to ask for permission from the judge. Can't just be appealing stuff while the case is ongoing. So you have to apply. You have to request a certificate to apply for the appeal. So this is what it is. They are filing a motion for a certificate of immediate review. They're saying, Judge, please give us permission to appeal this to the Georgia Court of Appeals, which is the next step up from the trial court, from McAfee's court. So you got McAfee's court, then you got the Georgia Court of Appeals, then you got the Georgia Supreme Court, right? So they're right here, and they're saying this judge right here, Judge McAfee, he's messing up. So we need to appeal, but we need to appeal while the case is ongoing. All right, no, we can't wait until the end. What if we wait until the end? It's going to be a shit show. No, let's go and appeal right now. So they're saying, Judge, this is the reason why you need to give us the ability to appeal. Now, what happens? If the judge says, yes, I'm going to grant you permission to appeal, then they have 10 days to make their appeal to the Georgia Court of Appeals. But this is what's going on. So they're like, hey, we want to appeal this right now. Wow.
That's like super irregular. You don't see that every day either. And I think that's really what lead is getting at, guys. Like usually when people appeal, it's at the end, the conclusion of a case. Here we're seeing we haven't even made it to trial yet. And they're like, we need to talk about this today.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So what do we got here? Let's see what we got. Says defendants, President Donald J. Trump, Rudolph Giuliani, Mark Meadows, others. Can't forget Michael Roman, the one who kind of kicked all of this off. They filed this joint motion for a certificate of immediate review, and they request that the court grant a certificate on defendant's motion to dismiss and disqualify the Fulton County District Attorney. All right. The March 15th order is of exceptionally great importance to this case, substantially impacting defendants' right to due process. If anybody needs due process, is a president. Additionally, given the lack of guidance from the appellate courts on key issues and the fact that any errors in the March 15th order could be structural errors that would necessitate retrials, the grant of a certificate of immediate review is both prudent and warranted. So what are they saying? They're saying, McAfee, man, you need to give us this ability to appeal. You have to. Why not? Why? Well, because it substantially affects Donald Trump's due process rights. Also, guys, there's not a lot of case law on this. No one really knew the standard of proof. No one knew the burden. No one really knew from precedent, from case law, if you need an actual conflict or if the appearance of conflict, the impropriety, is that enough? There's nowhere to look up in Georgia case law to say, Judge McAfee, this is what you should do. So Judge McAfee, 34 years old, he basically just made it up. Donald Trump is saying, I don't want my future to be made up by some 34-year-old. This man needs guidance. Georgia Court of Appeals, please guide this man.
There we go.
And it's not his fault that he's making it up because there's no
precedent.
Yeah.
There's no precedent for it.
It's like if I just drop you off in the middle of the Amazon that hasn't been explored, there's no roadmap, and you just start walking, I can't blame you for where you're going. I can't blame you for the direction. You could be going in the wrong direction. I can't blame you, though, because it's unmapped. It's uncharted territory. Judge McAfee, in this case, was kind of in uncharted territory. Now, the ruling, in a lot of ways, didn't make sense. He probably should have gone in another direction, if we're going to be honest. But you have to say that there was no precedent above him. You can give him that, even though the ruling had an order of mendacity, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're saying this 34-year-old lacks guidance. Georgia Court of Appeals, please guide this man. And also, if you do not, Judge McAfee, give us the ability to appeal now, fine. What are we going to do when the case ends? Appeal. And you cannot stop us then. You cannot stop us then. And guess what? After the Fulton County taxpayers have spent hundreds of thousands or even millions on this case, it's a RICO case, guys, multiple defendants. The bill is going to be in the millions. They paid Nathan $700,000 already. This case is going to be in the millions once it ends. Can you imagine paying all of these millions of AV's money? Some of this money's coming out of AV's pocket, of the lead's money. Some of this money's coming out of my pocket. We are both Fulton County residents. Mm-hmm. You're spending all of this money on this trial. Fine. What happens if we wait all the way to the end, we appeal, and the Court of Appeals says, McAfee, you were wrong? Go back and do the whole trial again. Spend the millions again. Why go down that road? Why? Go ahead, fix it now. There's no point in trying to fix it later. Fix it now. So that's what Donald Trump is saying. There could be errors which would necessitate retrials. Donald Trump's attorney continues. In its order, the court found that District Attorney Fani's actions had created the appearance of impropriety and an odor. Here's the odor. Odor of mendacity that lingers in this case, as well as the continuing possibility that an outsider could reasonably think that District Attorney Willis is not exercising her independent professional judgment totally free of any compromising influences. So they're saying, what the hell? The Judge McAfee, is already saying that there's something not right in this case. Already saying that. It stinks. So despite this, Judge McAfee declined to disqualify Fani finding that eliminating the only special assistant district attorney would cure the lingering appearance of impropriety. It's like, why would the judge see some fearsome beast with two backs and only get rid of one back? Doesn't make sense. Says, defendants believe that the relevant case law requires dismissal of the case, or at the very least, disqualification of the district attorney herself and her entire office under the facts that exist here. And the resignation of Nathan is insufficient to cure the appearance of impropriety the court has already determined exists. And that's the thing about this order. The court's already saying, hey man, this case is stinky. It's like if you got a big fish that's rotten and you cut the fish in half and the fish is stinking, it's decomposing. You cut the fish in half and you get rid of the tail. And you're like, okay, now the room is going to smell better because I got rid of the tail, right? What's the problem with that? The decomposing head is still there.
Still stinky.
It's still stinky. Why would you cut a decomposing fish, a big tuna? Why would you cut it in half and get rid of half saying that it was stinky and leave the head, leave the front part of the body? It doesn't really make sense if we're honest. So the judge is already, Donald Trump's already saying, hey man, the judge acknowledges that it stinks in here. The judge acknowledges what the problem is. The problem is the intricacies related to the relationship between Nathan and Fani. What did you have? You had the head and you had the tail, right? You had the head and the tail and it was all intermixed. Why not just get rid of the whole thing? Easier that way. Donald Trump's attorney says the court also found that Fani's nationally televised speech at Big Bethel,
The church speech, yes, AME Church on January 14th was illegally proper, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But declined to disqualify her on the basis of this misconduct and the other misconduct proven by the defendants, noting in particular a lack of guidance in Georgia case law for the standard for disqualification of a prosecuting attorney for such misconduct. Again, they're saying, hey man, appellate court, this boy needs your help. He's 34 years old. Some of these attorneys have children that are older than this judge. All right. Me and the judge went to the same law school, the University of Georgia School of Law. Go Dogs, the flagship institution of our great state. When I was graduating from that law school, the judge was 11 years old. 11. Mm-hmm. The lead is old as hell. All right. They're saying there's not a lot of case law to guide this young man. This judge, this young man, he needs guidance. He needs guidance from you. He's messing up the order. Why? Is he trying to kick the can down the road? Is he too young to make hardcore decisions? Is he too young to put his future on the line? We know he has a mortgage. He's got these kids. Fine. Let somebody else make the decision. Let the Georgia Court of Appeals look at this. So that's what they're saying. They're saying we have already shown that Fani has committed misconduct. The judge himself says that Fani's conduct at Big Bethel was legally improper, and yet she refuses to take the necessary actions. Says, based on the holding of a particular case in Georgia and other persuasive authorities from the United States Supreme Court and other jurisdictions,
it is likely that the Georgia appellate courts would decide that Fani's misconduct requires her disqualification in this case. They're saying, Judge, at a minimum, if you do not want to disqualify Fani, fine. At a minimum, the factual findings of the court and the lack of appellate guidance from the Georgia courts heavily favors an appeal. It heavily favors an immediate appellate review, especially given the failure to disqualify a prosecutor who should be disqualified. All right. They're saying here, seeking clear direction from the appellate courts on these critical issues at this pretrial juncture is a compelling and immediate interest.
Wow.
Donald Trump's attorney goes on to say, immediate appellate review is also needed for the March 15th order declining to disqualify Fani based upon the personal stake that she has acquired in this prosecution, both through her actual conflicts of interest and the appearance of impropriety created by her actions. Specifically, the Georgia Courts of Appeal, in applying their relevant precedent, including McLaughlin, would likely determine that disqualification of Fani is required when she has acquired a personal stake in the prosecution by either laboring under an actual conflict of interest, including non-pecuniary actual conflicts, or by creating the appearance of impropriety that this court has already determined she has created and remains here. And again, they're saying for so many reasons, Fani needs to be disqualified.
Wow. Interesting.
Conclusion: a criminal defendant is entitled to a disinterested prosecutor. If the assigned prosecutor has acquired a personal interest or stake in the prosecution, the trial court abuses its discretion in denying a motion for disqualification. It says certificates of immediate review have been granted by courts under similar circumstances. Whether Fani and her office are permitted to continue representing the state of Georgia in prosecuting Donald Trump and the others is of the utmost importance in this case, and ensuring the appellate courts have the opportunity to weigh in on these matters is paramount, and we have to do it now. We have to do it pre-trial. Waiting until the trial starts is too late. Lord knows waiting until the trial is over is too late.
In an election year.
In an election year, you are exactly right. Says, as noted, should such appellate review not occur until after any trial in this case, and these decisions were ultimately reversed on appeal, such reversal would likely require the retrial of every convicted defendant without any additional show of error or prejudice. Guys, could you imagine doing this all over again next year? I mean, how many times can you milk this cow? Damn. We're going to do it again? What does he say? He says, given the length and the complexity of the trials in this case, neither the court nor the parties should run an unnecessary risk of having to go through that process more than once. For all the reasons, for all of these reasons, President Donald J. Trump, along with the others, respectfully request that the court grant defendants' joint motion for a certificate of immediate review on the order of defendants' motion to dismiss and disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fani T. Willis. Get her out of here.
There it is.
That's what they're saying, guys. They're saying, get her out of here.
Wow. As of today. And signed by Boots.
Signed by Boots. It's signed by about everybody.
Right.
You know, Boots signed it. Jennifer Little signed it. Esposito, he signed it. Everybody signed on to this. This is a joint motion.
Merchant law
There's
firm.
Merchant. Shout out to Pantene. All right. Everybody's signing on to this. They all agree we need to appeal the case.
Yeah.
So now
It's a huge blow to McAfee's ruling, too. Because I was going to say, at the end of the day, it's just like he ruled on this on Friday. We knew that we were going to expect something today or early tomorrow, right? But at the end of the day, they're looking at this like, hey, what you ruled on, you didn't disqualify her. You really didn't make a ruling on that at all. You gave the choice back to them. We've proven to you that there's actual conflicts. We've proven to you that there's an appearance of impropriety, but you're saying that there's not enough based off of the case law.
100%. So what do y'all think? So guys, this is a two-step process. When you appeal to the Georgia Court of Appeals, they get to sit back and decide whether or not to take your appeal. They do not take all appeals. They just don't. The court is not big enough because they take all of the appeals. They receive all the appeals from the whole state, not just Fulton County, not just DeKalb County, Gwinnett County, not just Forsyth County, Hall County, DeKalb County, Cherokee County, all of these counties. It's from the whole state, and it's one court. So they do not accept, they accept a minority of the appeals, but they can't even accept this until Judge McAfee gives permission. So first, Judge McAfee has to give Donald Trump permission to file an appeal. If Judge McAfee does that, then Boots and the others will have 10 days to appeal. Once they appeal, then the Georgia Court of Appeals has to decide whether they will take this case. Now, if it's a regular person, you know, somebody got convicted, or let's say somebody was on trial for robbing a liquor store, and the judge makes a crazy ruling during the case, you know, the Court of Appeals might accept it or they might not. Just, hey, go and finish the trial and then come back if it, depending on what happens. But when you have a case of national importance like this, where a president is on trial, the Georgia Court of Appeals is probably going to take this case. They're going to take it. It's not like they're going to sit back and be like, no, go ahead and finish the whole trial, spend all of AV's money, spend all of the lead's money, spend all of the Fulton County taxpayers' money, and then come back depending on the result. They're not going to do that. So they'll probably take it. And I can't imagine this Judge McAfee, not giving permission, because he already said in a prior order that he would give permission to appeal. Now that was I don't remember what that was about. I don't remember what the specific issue was there. But he was like, hey man, if y'all want a certificate of review, go ahead and I'll give it to you. But so that's kind of where we are with this case. There was talk about the speech of Big Bethel. So what I thought what we would do, guys, is kind of pull that up and actually listen to it, right? Now, before that, we have to acknowledge that while this is going on, Boots is really trying to get rid of Fani, you know, because that's what they're saying. Fani should have been gone and there's no sense in keeping her on. That's not the only thing that's happening. There are other things that are happening in the background. For example, we have this motion here that's occurring in the background. Georgia enacts law letting panel punish and oust prosecutors. Now, this is coming from our legislature. And this is our governor here, Brian Kemp. And he signed a law into effect just on the 5th of this month that allows for the commission to discipline, to punish Fani Willis and other prosecutors and to remove them. Now, is this a good law? I will tell you that it's necessary. It's necessary. And what you see, guys, is prosecutors have a lot of power. And sometimes they will indict people that they should not. But other times, they will not indict people that they should. And we have seen that here in Georgia. Me and AV covered a case where the district attorney would not indict these two brothers for killing another brother. The DA wouldn't do it. They shot this brother. They shot him in the street like a dog. He was unarmed, and he was walking around through the neighborhood. Now, he was walking through some homes that were being constructed like all the other people were doing. Y'all remember that case?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, y'all know some people walk around through homes that are being constructed to see kind of what's going on, the finishing and stuff. Well, he did the same thing, but they did not like him doing it. And they saw him walking, and then they jumped in their car and tried to chase him. Actually, it was 3 of them. So they shot him and they killed him after they ran him down in the car. That damn DA would not prosecute these people for shit. Why not? Because one of the men, I think, worked in the sheriff's office for like 30 years. And it was down South Georgia. This was not Fulton County. This was not in the city. This was in the country. And y'all know in the country, it's the country. And 1 month, man dead in the street. Nope. 2 months. Nope. 3 months. Nope. The family's poor. Just wouldn't do it. And they had to get national attention for the prosecutor. And I think actually the prosecutor ended up being disciplined. So these prosecutors can stand in the way of justice. Those 3 people, by the way, were convicted of murder. 2 of them, I believe, were sent to life in prison with no parole. So obviously, these men committed a crime if they're sentenced to life with no parole, and yet the district attorney, who was their friend, wouldn't prosecute them. So what do you have? You have this. You have a law which would let the panel punish and oust prosecutors. Right? What does it say? Governor Kemp on the 5th signed a bill into law on Friday, creating a new commission empowered to discipline and remove wayward prosecutors. Kemp made these remarks at the Chatham County Sheriff's Office down in Savannah, where he signed the measure establishing the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualification Committee. It's launching in July, guys. It is launching in July. That thing is rocking and rolling. What does it say? I am not going to stand idly by as rogue or incompetent prosecutors refuse to uphold the law. This is what our governor said. Says, today we are sending a message that we will not forfeit public safety for prosecutors to let criminals off the hook. And that's another thing. Thank the Lord, man. I know Atlanta's all messed up, but I'm born and raised here, man. So I'm biased. But I would never want to live in New York. I would never want to live in Los Angeles, in California. Y'all see people breaking into cars. I mean, they're breaking into cars in Atlanta. Y'all see people breaking into these malls and grabbing all this jewelry in California. No one cares. In shoplifting, no one cares in California. Why do you even need to go to work? Just shoplift. I mean, that's what the prosecutors are saying.
Take it. Just take it.
Yeah, like we're not going to stop you. There's no security. We're just going to hold up our phones while you got ski masks, and we're just going to
film you. We're just going to watch you take it.
These district attorneys need to get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't even know how people in LA, how do y'all live with these prosecutors not prosecuting crimes? Right? Says the law parallels pushes to remove prosecutors in Florida, Indiana, Missouri, other states. Says the efforts continue anti-crime campaigns that Republicans ran nationwide last year, accusing the Democrats of coddling criminals and improperly refusing to prosecute whole categories of crime, including marijuana possession. Now, here's another thing, because I do not believe that you should be prosecuted for having personal amounts of marijuana. Not now distributing and trafficking. I don't want to get into all that, but marijuana for personal use, if you have a little bit of that in your pocket, would I want to prosecute that? No. And the prosecutors have discretion, guys. We can never forget that. Prosecutors get to decide. If you are a police officer and you see somebody driving down the highway at 86 miles an hour, they're speeding. You can decide, even though they're breaking the law, you can decide to pull them over and give them a ticket. But do you know what else you can do? You can decide to pull them over and give them a warning. You don't have to give someone a ticket just because they're breaking the law. Prosecutors are the same way. They do not need to charge every person for every crime. And so I think this is a good thing that prosecutors do have some amount of flexibility, because it's like, okay, California has medical marijuana, Florida, all these states like Georgia, come on. Georgia's the deep South, Bible Belt, conservative. And so some of these old people don't want to get with the new times. Marijuana is okay, guys. The rest of look at Colorado, like it's fine. But you want to lock people up. Our prisons are already overcrowded. This is another thing. Our prisons are already overcrowded. People are dying in our jails. Nathan Wade was assigned to investigate while people were dying.
Oh my God. That's a whole nother situation. With Nathan Wade presiding over that, with Sonia Allen as well.
Yes. But okay, somebody write TLA AV 2024. We don't be on the damn ticket. We smoking marijuana. All right? We're gonna relax, guys. We are gonna relax. Georgia Democrats strenuously oppose the motion, saying the Republican legislative majority is seeking another way to impose its will on the voters at the local level. I strongly oppose an excessive and unnecessary commission, as district attorneys are already held accountable under existing laws and through the current democratic process, says Deborah Gonzalez, a Democratic district attorney for Athens, Clark County, and Oconee County. Now, Gonzalez is under fire in Kip's hometown of Athens. And just if you guys don't know, Athens is the place where the great University of Georgia Bulldogs play every Sunday in the summers and the fall. Go Dogs! Okay, shout out to Athens. Gonzalez is the district attorney in Athens. And she is cited by Republicans as one of the top targets for the law. She has declined to prosecute marijuana crimes. Some prosecutors have left her office and judges have criticized her for missing deadlines. Missing deadlines is not acceptable. But listen, listen for a second. Listen. Imagine that you are the district attorney for Athens. Again, Athens is a humongous college town. We were your national champions for college football 2 years in a row. National. We were your champions. Do you know how much weed these kids are smoking down there? I mean, come on. Come on. Now, imagine if you were a parent and you had kids down there. Do you want your kids to get felonies and records because they're smoking a little roach every now and then? It's like you kind of want your district attorney. I mean, listen, y'all, well, you shouldn't smoke marijuana. Fine. If that's your opinion, I disagree. I don't even smoke. But to stick these kids with records, misdemeanor and felony grade records in college, I don't agree with. At any rate, they want to get her. Says crucially, the Georgia law mandates that a prosecutor must consider every case for which probable cause exists and cannot exclude categories of cases from prosecution. Experts have said that considering every case individually is unrealistic because prosecutors turn down many more cases than they charge. However, it is unclear if the new law will change prosecutors' behavior or just lead them to avoid talking publicly about the charging decisions. The 8-member commission will include 6 current or former prosecutors and 2 other lawyers. Interesting. It will oversee the DA's office and the Solicitor General. So the Solicitor General, guys, handles misdemeanors. DAs handle felony grade crimes. Now,
this next paragraph.
Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has also decried the measure, calling it a racist attack. Oh, it is a racist. It is a racist. You are setting up this commission to go against a black woman. All right, it is a racist, pulling out that race card. Bang.
There it is.
Right in your mouth. Says calling it a racist attack after voters elected 14 non-white DAs in the state. Some have viewed the law as Republican retribution against Willis, who is considering criminal charges against former President Donald Trump over the interference in Georgia's 2020 election. All right. The law was born from frustrations involving a white Republican prosecutor in suburban Atlanta who was indicted for bribery related to sexual harassment claims. He lingered in office until he pled guilty to resigned in 2022. Some Democrats were interested in similar measures for a time because of Jackie Johnson, a coastal Georgia DA who was who was charged with hindering the police investigation into the 2020 killing of Ahmaud Arbery.
It was Arbery.
Wow. Arbery, yeah. The Democratic interest cooled after the voters ousted Arbery. All right, so they are setting up this commission. It should be rocking and rolling by July 1st. It's only a few months away. And they are trying to get Fani up out of here. All right, so what do you guys think? Do y'all think put yes in the chat if you think that this appeal is going to go through, or put no if you think either the judge is not going to have the appeal go through, or if the Georgia appellate court is not going to accept the appeal. What do y'all think? And then there is another issue as to whether or not, even if the appeal does go through, are they able to get Fani off the case through this new counsel? All right. While y'all are doing that, AV, do you have any supers or cash apps? If y'all want to support AV, her cash app is right there in the banner.
I do. I have a few. Firstly, I want to shout out Jim, who sends me $50. Jim, thank you so
Jim,
much.
awesome, Jim.
Jim says, AV, this saga beats anything on Netflix. It truly does, guys. We are here giving you guys heat every time that we can. We were just here on Friday with the entire ruling from Judge McAfee. We were back on Saturday and we actually reviewed an ethics complaint filed against Fani Willis. And if you haven't seen that one, that was actually one of my favorite streams because we were able to see a non-lawyer put together a wonderfully crafted complaint. And we know he had help. We think he had help. But Jim, thank you so much for that one. Shout out to Audrey, who sends $10.50 for all the love. Thank you so much, Audrey. That's very sweet of you. And then shout out to E. Capone, who sends $2. He says, Oi, AV, tudo bien? He's basically talking in Portuguese and saying, hey, AV, how's everything going? What's up?
Shout out to our man E. Capone and everyone else. Want to give a big shout out to Life on 18 Wheels, who is our new co-sponsor. Guys, I always say sponsors are the ones who give the biggest super chat. Life on 18 Wheels. Shout out to all the truckers. Shout out to Marie, Life on 18 Wheels out here trucking. These truckers are the backbone. They are the absolute backbone of the country.
They are.
What do they say? If you are holding something or if you see something, it got delivered in a truck, right? So shout out to Life on 18 Wheels. Says, I just want to be a channel sponsor even for a little bit. By the way, ain't no way that man is in his 30s. He look about 50. He look about 50. 100%. Thank you so much, Life on 18 Wheels. He is the new sponsor. And if y'all could write Life on 18 Wheels, he is co-sponsoring the stream that all 7,000 you guys are watching. All right. So thank you so much. Also, let me hit a few of the high ones as well. Shout out to Aretha. Aretha gifted 5 subs. Thank you. If you got one of Aretha's subs, please tell her thank you. Put her name on it. Tell her thank you, Aretha. Shout out to Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill says, I think that McAfee was looking for, I think that McAfee was looking for with his ruling. Stephen, I don't know what you're talking about, pimp. I'm sorry. I missed that. I think there's a word in there. There's a word in there that we're missing. But thank you so much, Stephen Hill. Really appreciate it, brother. Super generous of you. Thank you. And don't write just write the word in the chat. Don't you have to send it a super chat, but I want to see what you're saying. So thank you so much, Stephen Hill. Thank you so much. Shout out to Big Al. Big Al in the house. What does my man Big Al say? Fani, go be wearing her drawers backwards by the time we the people get through with her butt. All right, she gonna be wearing the panties backwards. She was wearing her dress backwards. She gonna be wearing her panties backwards. Shout out to Big Al, man. Y'all don't know Big Al. Big Al is a stand-up, honorable, great man. Big Al had purchased the course, and he thought one of his friends could use the course. So Big Al gave his friend the link, the code to use his course. But then Big Al sent me some money, said, hey, man, I let my man use the course, but I'm going to go on and I'm going to pay you for the course. So shout out to Big Al. Honorable stand-up men is what we are missing in this country, especially when you look at somebody like a damn Terrence Bradley. Jesus Christ. You looking at somebody like a Nathan Wade. Right, getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. Where's your work? Where's your work product? It's in my head. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. So thank you so much, Al. Also, if y'all want to buy this course, everybody is snapping it up. You can certainly do that. I will put the link to the description in the course below. We've got the discount code Fani. If y'all want to check that out, the discount code Fani gets you $200 off. This course is not $2,500 like all the other courses. It is just $550. And if you use the discount code, you can get it for $350. And y'all see how much I make doing this live streaming, guys. Last week, for example, I think I was number 7 in the nation for live streamers on YouTube. How many YouTubers do you think there are in the United States of America? Millions. I was number 7 last week. The week before that, I was I don't even remember, like number 3 or something. Like there's no one better in the United States of America to learn how to live stream from than this. So shout out to Big Al. Shout out to everybody buying the course. Really appreciate that. Shout out to my man, Big Al Trailer. Shout out to Sir Nightwolf. Sir Nightwolf, thank you. Super generous. Says to the women that are siding with Fani, would you still stand by her if that was your husband? Uh-oh, now we getting into the romance, the husband thing. That's exactly right. Thank you so much, Sir Knight, as well, man. Y'all are blessing me. Y'all are blessing me. Y'all are blessing AV. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. And shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Audrey sends me $10.50 on the Cash App. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big shout out to Laura. Shout out to the beautiful Laura. Laura Blackman said, this is awesome. Thank you. Y'all are supporting me so much. Laura, cannot tell you how appreciative I am, how grateful. Thank you so much for your love, your support, your encouragement. Me and AV trying to bring you this content. So I really appreciate it, Laura. No one has to give anything. You've never heard AV ask for a penny. You've never heard me ask for a penny. We've been doing this for 2-3 years. Y'all just support us out the kindness of your hearts. Cannot tell you how grateful we are. Thank you. Shout out to Laura Blackman. All right, so what do we got here, guys? Let me show you. We talked about how they were trying to get rid of Fani on the local level here in Georgia. They are created this commission to punish and to kick out prosecutors. But that is not all. That's on the Georgia level. They are also trying to get rid of Fani on the national.
There it is. There's the letter.
The national level, guys. What are they trying to do? What do you see? Congress of the United States. Again, March 14th, guys. What was this, like Thursday or Friday?
Yes.
This is such hot and heavy stuff. What do they say? The Honorable Fani T. Willis, coming from the Congress of the United States, Washington, D.C. All right. AV, I'm not sure if you can read that. Can you? Oh, that might be too much.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I can read it. It looks good. I look at all the people in the chat. Are they at half yet?
I don't even know. Let me see here. We got 6,000 people in the chat. We got 3,000. Y'all give me the 3.6. Y'all give me the 3.6 likes. I will let all of y'all come in. Give me the 3.6 and we gonna bring y'all in. All right, guys. And thank you, AV, for pointing that out.
Yes.
Fani just received a few days ago a letter from Congress. All right. What does it say? You want to pick it up from here?
Yes. And this is authored by one Jim Jordan. It says, Dear Miss Willis, the Committee on the Judiciary is continuing its oversight of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office receipt and use of federal grant funds issued by the United States Department of Justice. On February 2nd, 2024, after several attempts to obtain your voluntary compliance with the oversight, the committee issued you a subpoena. The subpoena compelled the production of 2 specific categories of documents. Number 1, documents and communications referring or related to the FCDAO's receipt and use of federal funds. And 2, documents and communications referring or relating to any allegations of the misuse of federal funds.
The misuse of federal funds, guys. So y'all already see this is about money. Money being disappeared. You know, so much. Guys, this case has had money running all through it. If you think about the cash that supposedly Fani was giving Nathan, you know, the cash in the safes. It's a black thing. Y'all remember that bullshit?
Mhm.
Right? If you think about the cash or the money that Nathan was receiving, way more than the other prosecutors, $600,000, $650,000, $700,000, all of the money. The block billing. You remember when Nathan was saying, "Oh, give me $5,000 for this." What did you do? Oh, meeting. Give me, you know, $30,000 for this. What did you do? Oh, I worked 24 hours straight. So much of this case, guys, revolves around money. And then here you see Congress is like, we gave you money. And it looks like some of it is unaccounted for. It looks like some of it was spent on improper purposes. All right, y'all have got my likes looking right. So I'm gonna let all of y'all come in. When y'all come in, somebody write money. Somebody write money when you come in.
Where did the money go?
Write money when you come in. If everybody come on in, come on in. Write money. Also, let us know where you're from. Are you in Atlanta? Are you in LA? Where are you guys from? Let me. I know y'all gonna run it. I should have slowed the chat down.
Let the floodgates in.
For real, so much of this case is about money. All right, thank y'all for coming in. We got the whole family in now. Got the whole family. Shout out to E. Capone. Sends me $5 on the Cash App. Says you the man. Thank you. We got Detroit up in here. We got North Carolina. We got the UK. Got Utah in the house. Oklahoma, Tennessee, New York, Birmingham, South Florida. All right. Shout out to South Florida. Indiana got Vegas, baby. She got Vegas. All right. Y'all are up in here. Y'all are up in here. Shout out to Vegas. We need to do a thing. We need to do a meetup in Colorado, and we need to do a meetup in Vegas. All right. So Congress, the United States Congress is asking Fani, where is the money? You want to pick it up right here, AV?
Yes. It says on February 23rd, 2024, you responded to the committee's subpoena with a letter in which you smeared a former employee of yours who spoke about your misuse of federal grant funds. We will
All
not.
right, let's stop right there. AV getting crunk. All right.
I knew it was coming. It started all nice.
I'm rubbing off on AV. Usually she just be reading. No, she putting some legs. AV putting effort. Somebody write effort, okay? It's hard to entertain you fuckers, especially when this stuff is dry. So I try to read it in a way. AV's trying to step up her game, all right? So shout out to AV. AV putting some emphasis on it. She putting some sauce on the letters. Okay, let's go.
The misuse of federal grant funds. We will not dignify your attacks on this brave whistleblower or your continued attempts to distract from your conduct through misdirection and personal insults. The allegations in the public realm about your misuse of federal grant funding are concerning, and the committee has an obligation to examine them. We appreciate that you have produced a narrow set of documents in response to the subpoena, but your compliance with the subpoena to date is deficient. Attaches your letter where various documents, a number of which were previously produced to the committee, that contained, among other things, 15 award letters from the Department of Justice's Office of Justice Programs, an Office of Violence Against, interesting, and approximately 27 screenshots of expense budget summaries available to the FCDAO. However, you failed to produce any of the following categories of documents, Fani. You failed. Here's the categories. There's 5. All documents and communications referring or relating to any allegations of the misuse of federal funds. All documents or communications between or amongst your office and the Justice Department, including its OJP and OVW components. All communications between the FCDAO employees about the receipt or use of federal grants. All documents that fall within the scope of the subpoena, such as the FCDAO's applications, proposal abstracts, grant agreements, financial management and system and internal controls questionnaires. All these documents, Fani, where are they?
Where are they?
Where are they? All documents and communications relating to the FCDAO's grant performance measurement and progress reporting. Where are they? Although additional materials are also responsive to the committee subpoena as an accommodation, we will prioritize the production of the documents and communications identified above. We want them, Fani. Your letter also requests that the committee engage with the Justice Department to obtain responsive documents to the FCDAO should have been in its possession. She's telling them to go to the Justice Department. She's telling Congress, oh, you want these papers? You need to go to the Justice Department because that's who has them.
Like, don't get it from me. Go over there to get them.
Exactly. That's who has them. As part of our oversight, the committee has engaged with the Justice Department about its administration of federal grant programs. The committee's separate request to the Justice Department do not alleviate your legal obligation to comply with this subpoena, Fani.
You gotta comply.
Fani.
You gotta comply. You
Where
failed.
are
they? AB said you have failed. Somebody write failed in the day, chat. You say you failed to turn over the docs.
Where are they? We're looking
Where
for
are
them.
they? All right, let's keep it going.
Your letter also requests, we covered that one. In addition, in your letter, you noted a preliminary objection to the committee's subpoena on the grounds that the subpoena is overbroad and unduly burdensome under any ordinary meaning of those terms. To the contrary, the committee has exercised its authority with restraint. The subpoena seeks only 2 categories of documents, and the scope of its request covers only a limited time period, namely from January 1 of 2020 to present. In addition, as discussed above, the committee is prioritizing certain categories of documents as an accommodation. While you have indicated that additional documents may be forthcoming in response to the committee's subpoena, the committee has yet to receive any additional responsive materials in the 3 weeks since your initial response. Where are they, Fani? Accordingly, the committee expects that you will produce all responsive documents to the subpoena in the categories prioritized by the committee no later than 12 p.m. on March 28, 2024. If you fail to do so, the committee will consider taking further action, such as the invocation of contempt of Congress proceedings. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan. What is Jim Jordan saying in this letter, AB? Break it down for us. What's he talking about?
He is saying, hey, we've asked you for some documents. We're hearing some things that are concerning to us. There is some money that the Department of Justice gave to your agency. And when we have that, Congress has the power to police money that comes from the federal government. They have oversight of that money. They can look at where every single red cent was spent, including coming from the Department of Justice. So if we gave it to you, Fani, we have the authority to see how it was spent. Now, it is alleged, and some news reports and from a whistleblower in her office, that that money wasn't spent correctly. It was intended to go to small organizations in the local community, things of the like. What we saw is, or at least what the whistleblower said, is that Fani and team used that money on laptops, trips, other things, and the money was misused. What Jim Jordan and team are saying here in this letter is, we sent you a letter before. You didn't respond. So now we're going to send you another letter because you didn't respond. Here's what we're looking for. And if you don't respond again, we will hold you in contempt.
In contempt. All right.
By the 28th, we have 10 days.
10 days. And y'all have seen it, guys. Me and AV cover the bar complaint. Fanny's really taking it from all sides. This guy filed a bar complaint against Fani, probably one of the many. And he gave some details into this. He was saying that apparently almost $500,000 was given to Fani. Almost $500,000 was given to her to use for some youth programs and some gang initiatives. And she used that money for swag and for travel. And so they are trying to get receipts from it and say, hey, Fani, word on the street is that $500,000, which you were supposed to use for this, you actually used it for that. You used it for clothing and travel. We need receipts for your use of the $500,000. Fani ain't given Fani didn't turn over the documents. Fani didn't turn over the receipts. So if you have a public official spending $500,000 and refuses to give receipts, man, is that a little sketchy? Is that a little sketchy? So this is the issue. There's so many issues plaguing this lady. Let me give a quick shout out to Keita. We got Keita G in the house. Keita is another attorney. Gifted 5 lead attorney memberships, guys. If you received a membership from Keita G, please tell Keita thank you and put a name on it. Shout out to Keita G. And shout out to Troy Stevens with the $20. No comment, no question, just the pure love for the game. Thank you so much. Thank you, Troy. Also, shout out to Keyshawn. Keyshawn or Keyshawn? What do you think?
Keyshawn.
Shout out to Keyshawn. Thank you, Keyshawn. Says, why would McAfee grant them approval to make him look stupid? Right? Yeah, but if he doesn't, and we go through the whole case and then they appeal, you got to do the whole case over again. So how stupid would he look then? He really looks stupid. Thank you so much, Keyshawn. Shout out to BW. BW says, Fani was the mastermind. She hired Nathan and he did the kickback spending money on her. Judge McAfee's ruling is a stain on his career. Someone needs to clean all of Fulton County. It is riding dirty. 100%. 100%. Great point. Shout out to my man BW. Shout out to Dub Right Side. Got Dub Right Side in the house, $50. Thank you so much, Dub. Super generous. Says salute TLA and the beautiful AV to the 7th power. All Fani paperwork is in Nathan's head. All right. Is it Nathan's head? All the receipts, all the money for the swag, all the money for the travel. It's all in Nathan's head. This is truly a case that keeps on giving. Great coverage from you both. Shout out to Terrence Bradley for providing the most interesting lawfare case we have seen. All right. 100%. It is lawfare too. 100%. Thank you so much. Super generous of you, Dub Right Side. Shout out to Wrench Turner. Thank you as well, Wrench Turner. Brother Wrench Turner, excellent content creator, excellent high value man. What does Wrench say? Fani won't turn in the documents because Nate has them folded up and tucked in a box of grape swishers. All right. Talk heavy, AV, talk heavy. That's exactly right. Shout out to my man, Wrench Turner. If one of the mods could drop the link to my man's channel in the chat. Thank you, Wrench Turner. Thank you to Dub Right Side. Thank you guys. Shout out to BW. Shout out to my man Jim. Jim, what does Jim say? Says Team Trump is playing chess and Fani is out here playing checkers. All right, double jumping. All right, that is exactly right. Trying to make a queen. Do you have any cash ups or you all caught up?
I got one from JC. I believe he says 369. He says, love this aggressive AV.
Yeah, AV was reading that dang document, was it? Shout out to my man Jim. So what I would thought we would do, guys, because another thing, they are trying to get Fani kicked out. They're trying to take her bar license away. Shout out to Shantae, the Sky Diva. Shout out to Shantae. This is another great show. And TLA is on TLA. AV is on fire tonight, 100%. They are trying to take Fani's law license away. They are trying to get Fani taken off this case. Why? Why? One big thing that they talk about over and over, that Donald Trump talks about over and over and over, was Fani's speech at Big Bethel.
Oof.
Big Bethel. Why was that speech so bad? You know, one of the things I thought, if we take a quick look at it, we take a few minutes just to see what was going on, especially in light of what we know now. You know, she come up there in an all-black church, wearing all black like she damn Nino Brown.
Oh.
Right? And it's interesting to hear what she has to say with the value that the time of time passing and all of these court hearings, all of this testimony. You know, let's play a little of this, and let's see what Fani is talking about. Let's see why Donald Trump's attorney Steve Sadow, why Ashley Merchant, what did she say that was so enraging? They want her bar license. They want her kicked her off this case. They want her to be removed as district attorney, as the prosecutor. Let's take a look at a little of this.
You know, I have some notes here, and at some points I'll go to them, and at some points I'm just going to stray from them. But I hope y'all will be patient with me. The bishop told me I am welcome to be myself. In this very historic house of God. How many of y'all know that's what Bethel means? House of God. There is literally no place in the world I'd rather be than right here with you today.
And if you have not been able to tell, this is a black church.
There we go.
This is a black church. It's right down the street. It is Big Bethel AME. Does anybody know what AME stands for?
What does it stand for?
Anybody know what the A stands for? Stands for African. African. All right. African. What is it? Methodist Episcopal Church? Right. So we down here in Big Bethel. We down here watching Fani give a speech. Now, why is this so important, guys? It is an African American church right down on Sweet Auburn. It's like 5 minutes away. And it's filled with black Fulton County residents. Why is this an issue? Because the Fulton County residents are the ones who are going to sit on this trial.
Yep.
Right? So she is talking to all of these potential jurors. So keep that in mind, guys. And she knows Fani's sophisticated. I'll be honest with you. Some of these people in this church are not sophisticated. They're just regular people. Fani is extremely sophisticated. Fani knows exactly what the hell is going on. And she is talking to these jurors, right? Is it proper? What do you guys think? Before we get into it, let me give a big shout out to Keita. All right, shout out to Keita. Damn, Keita, what does Keita say? Thank you, Keita. Y'all know Keita, man. One of the fixtures, one of the co-counsels. She will never come up here. Y'all trying to get in her DM so bad, she got you locked out. Shout out to Keita G. What does she say? Keita says they will get Fani one way or the other. People need to keep their egos in check when they are placed in a position of power. She is a disappointment and embarrassment. She finna take a tumble from grace like Rachel Rowland's former MAUS attorney. Fani Willis played herself. Played herself. Shout out to Keita G. Somebody write Keita G in the damn chat. God. Oh my God. Shout out to Keita. Thank you, Keita. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super, super indebted to Keita. Y'all know Keita G. Huge supporter of me, huge supporter of AV. Want to give a big shout out to Nancy Hart. Also, big shout out to Life on 18 Wheels, who were the co-sponsors to the stream. But now we got Keita, who is in. She had also purchased memberships for
She
5
did.
people in. So Keita is the new sponsor with the purchase of those memberships for you guys. And this super chat, Keita is in for the 125. So thank you so much. Thank y'all for shouting out Keita G, man. She is blessing me, blessing y'all with these memberships, so y'all are never locked out.
Go
So
Keita.
shout out to Keita G. Thank you. Shout out to Keita, man. Keita said she got a quarter or better. I was like, damn. Shout out to Keita G. Shout out to Keita. Thank you so much, Keita. Really, really appreciate it. Y'all see her down there as the sponsor. All right, let's keep it going, guys. Shout out to Keita. Let's see what Fani is talking about here.
God always brings you to that safe place where you need to be. And so the invitation to come where God's message is taught, adhered to, and celebrated is my honor. I want to acknowledge and humbly thank, first of all, my Savior, Lord Jesus Christ.
Here we go, playing the God card.
Jackson, Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson. I hope for y'all this week, I don't look like what I've been through. I want y'all to know I pulled out my most lavish $29.99 dress from Ross.
Okay. The Ross dress.
To talk to you this morning. See that part?
And y'all remember that they put that in the bar complaint that she's trying to ingratiate herself. She's saying, "Oh, you know, I'm wearing a $29.99 Ross dress,
$30 dress with
yeah,
notes."
man." So we're not gonna listen to all this, guys. I just want to play a little bit. Now I know the sound is messed up because the sound is hard to hear. That's why I put the captions right up under this lady's chin, and I got it turned way up. But yeah, this isn't the best audio because it's a black church. All right, let's keep going. All right.
That's funny. That's not God. Now I must warn you, if you are looking today, this morning, to hear from a perfect person, well, he was crucified and he died for your sins. But today, what he has brought you is his very flawed, hard-headed, and imperfect servant. And so I pray for him to please use me this morning.
Can y'all hear this okay or no? Because if y'all aren't going to hear this, and we're not going to play too much of it. If I don't know. I don't want to play too much of it if y'all can't hear it. If y'all can't hear it. Can y'all hear it? Some of you are like, y'all are like, no, not really. All right. So kind of that's kind of what's going on, guys. We don't need to keep playing this if y'all can't really hear it. So what do y'all think? Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to drop the yeah, some of y'all are saying it's bad. Don't worry about it. I'm going to drop the link and I'm going to have some of y'all come up. And I want y'all to talk to us, talk to me, talk to AV, and let us know what you think about this. What do you think about the case? Are you team Fani? Are you team Donald Trump? Put in the chat. If you're team Fani, put team Fani. If you are team Donald Trump, put team Donald Trump. Go ahead and let us know. Also, I am dropping the link. You can come up and tell me and AV face to face how you feel about this. There are 2 rules for when you come up. The first rule is that you have to be cammed up. It'd be great if you were not driving, by the way. And the second rule is you have to assume that you will not be pulled up. All right, you have to assume that you're not going to make it just because I can't pull up everybody. All right. So while y'all are coming in, I have dropped the link. AV, are you caught up on your cash apps?
I have 3 that have just come in. Shout out to E. Capone. He sends $3. He says, check out City of Gold 80s cartoon. Thank you so much, E. Capone. I will do that. Shout out to Dub Right Side with $50.
Right side.
He says, you are on fire. Couldn't forget about you. Thank you so much, Dub. That is very generous of you. And I see you blessing the stream over here as well. You've been a frequent flyer on these streams as well. So it's really, really nice that you are blessing both of us. Thank you, Dub Brightside. I really appreciate it. And then shout out to Keita. She sends me a $50 cash app.
They're killing it. Shout out to Keita. Yes. Shout out to Big Al.
Funny. She says you should reenact Fani's church speech.
That's a good one.
Ordained by God.
Shout out to Keita. That would be a good one.
It would be a lot of fun. I would actually have fun doing that.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. And shout out to Keita G because she just blessed another 5 of y'all guys. Shout out to my man Big Al. Said Big Al says Fanny got some milk up in her, and that's true. That is absolutely true. Shout out to Keita again.
Wow.
Now listen, guys. Me and AV, we're down here in Atlanta. We're down here in Fulton County. All right, that's in the South. So please, please show Keita a little Southern hospitality. All right. If you got one of the 5 memberships that Keita has gifted, please tell her thank you. And don't just be like, thank you, because you got home training. Put a name on it. Say, thank you, Keita G. The names must be named. The names must be named. All right, let us keep it going. So shout out to Keita. Let us bring up W. Witcher. W. Witcher, how are you doing, brother?
Hanging in there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much for coming up. Kind of, what's your take on this whole situation here?
Oh, this is a nightmare. I don't understand how you can have this level of blatant prosecutorial misconduct.
Yeah, and if I can get you kind of to put your face in the center of the screen. There you go. There you go. So we can see it. Thank you.
Here, I'll do this so you can see me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No, I've been following this on and off. I'm a retired veteran of the Iraqi War.
Wow.
I have a degree in political science, and this is pretty much all I do is sit and watch politics and watch the court cases on C-SPAN. And the entire time I've been following this case with Fani Willis and her lover, I guess. I don't know what to call him. I don't understand why, like, the bar hasn't just stepped up and done away with both of these prosecutors. Like, what are they waiting for? Does someone need? I didn't finish my law degree, so I don't know. Does someone need to, from the bar, have standing or something to launch an investigation, or what?
Well, we just saw a guy, and he's actually been on some interviews, and he just explained why he filed this bar complaint. I think it was over 20 pages long. We reviewed it. So the bar complaints have already been coming. Usually bar complaints are not public, so you wouldn't necessarily hear about them. But his bar complaint got leaked. Phil Holloway is the one who showed his bar complaint. So they are actively trying to take Fanny's license away. So that's
Excellent.
true.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. That's good. Because this is kind of a symptom of what's been going on in the other states as well. These prosecutors feel like they're untouchable. Like, nobody's going to do anything about it. And sadly, for at least the last 30 years that I've been around, nobody has done anything about it. And especially where it comes to something like perjury, I don't recall ever seeing a trial for perjury. I don't think I've ever seen one where a prosecutor or even a defendant or a witness in general was actually brought up on perjury charges and then convicted and penalized for it. So I don't know what to expect from any investigations coming out of Georgia. I lived there for quite some time, and let's just say I'm glad I don't anymore.
There you go. Right there you go. What do you think will be the end result of all this? Do you think this case will end up getting dismissed, or do you think it's actually going to go to trial? Kind of what's your prediction?
What I wish would happen is they would just dismiss it and be done with this nonsense because it's costing everyone money. But I foresee them actually going to trial. The amount of corruption, the blatant corruption, they're not even hiding it at this point. The amount of corruption that's been flying around, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop this from actually going to trial. But even if he's convicted, there's no way in hell this stands up to an appeal, any type of appeal. You send this up to an appellate court, no, this is going to get overturned immediately. Because I've looked through most of the evidence that Fani put out there. She's got nothing. I don't understand why this case is still even in court, especially after the judge basically said, "Yeah, we know. Yeah, you perjured yourself. We know you're dishonest, but you can go ahead and keep prosecuting this."
Right.
As if that makes any sense.
No, you're exactly right. Exactly right. Well, listen, thank you so much, W. Witcher, for coming up. And also thank you so much for your service as well.
Thank you for having
this country and defending all of our rights and freedoms. So shout out to W. Witcher. You can come up anytime, brother. Thank you for coming up and thank you for giving us your perspective on this.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to W. Witcher. Thank you guys so much. Let us keep it going here. Let us keep it going. Let's bring up Detroit's HPTV. How are you doing, brother?
Doing good, lead attorney. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming up. AV, do you want to talk to our brother Detroit's HP? You want to ask him some questions?
Yeah, Detroit, how do you feel about this entire case? Do you think that it's going to go up on appeal after what we just reviewed today?
First of all, let me say I'm the guy Big Al bought the course for.
Oh, you bought the course? Oh, you're the friend. Okay. Excellent. Also, well, shout out to you and shout out to Big Al for being such a stand-up and great dude. And what's the let me get the name. What's the name of your YouTube channel now? It's Detroit's HPTV. Excellent. If one of the mods can drop Detroit's HPTV's channel in the chat, if y'all want to go subscribe to him and check him out. And shout out to Big Al. Big Al purchased the course for Detroit.
Thanks again, Big Al. Already got me some strategies for my channel.
There you go. All right. Shout out to Big.
I found me a good one. I was already on too.
Awesome.
Already got my enemies in line. That's why I'm glad Big Fani getting the tail kicked down there.
Fantastic.
All we got to do is kick their tail up in New York.
I hear you. Now I will say, Detroit TV, that your audio is a little bit weak. We're having I'm not sure what you're using to record your audio. Is that your phone or something? But it's kind of hard to hear you a little bit.
Maybe I got to turn something off because it happened before.
Okay.
Turn off some in the background.
Okay, yeah. I just think the microphone on your laptop is a little weak. I think that's what I'm not sure if you can get a little closer. Hello?
Oh, I think you're frozen now.
Now it looks like you're frozen. I'm glad that you got the course because it's got some information in there that's going to help you with the equipment and it's going to get you right up to speed. Just go out and come back in and I will pull you up. So just go out and come back in. I'll pull you up. Shout out to Detroit's HPTV and shout out to Big Al, man. And if y'all have friends that are trying to do this YouTube thing, or if y'all see YouTubers and you think they could improve, go ahead and get them the course. The course is linked below. You guys can see where it is, and there is a $200 Fani discount code. All right, so y'all can go ahead and do that. And this course is amazing, actually. And I will say I'm a little biased, but it's an excellent course.
It really is.
All right. So let me pull up my man Said. Said, how are you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on today?
Good. AV, talk to our man Sid here. See what he thinks about this situation.
Sid, what do you think about the situation? Did you saw the appeal? Do you think that this case is going to go up on appeal? What's your take on it?
Well, I mean, clearly I'm not a lawyer, but I would leave that to the experts. Anything's possible. I mean, the McAfee ruling, after it happened, I can look back, looking backwards, I can see that, it's kind of reasonable, or you could come to that conclusion, but I wouldn't make any predictions.
Okay. What do you think was reasonable about it?
Oh, I mean, if you look at how he has to take in, not on just on the legal side, but that he's probably considering, that he was going to let other institutions deal with Fani. So, like when he wrote in his ruling, maybe the bar would deal with it. Maybe the Georgia Senate, Georgia legislature would deal with it, or those type of things. So I think the way you guys went over, I think the way he wrote his ruling, he was preserving himself in his capacity, so that he wouldn't take the political hit and letting the other institutions deal with it.
Interesting. Yeah, because one of the things we saw on the appeal today is they were like, McAfee was wrong, right? We saw that what she did in the church was legally improper. There was forensic misconduct. There was actual conflicts. What do you think? Do you think that any of the things that we saw throughout this saga were true? Like are the defense, are they onto something?
Come on now. Stevie Wonder can see this. I mean, the level of bravado that is displayed in all of this. I mean, the speech at the church, the stuff that you guys just covered tonight about how she responded to Congress. I mean, who are you to tell Congress to go get documents from the Department of Justice? If Congress says jump, your job is to say how high. I mean, we watch the news. Congress brings up Mark Zuckerberg at least once a year. All these titans, these billionaires and these presidents and CEOs from the tech industry. So here we have this prosecutor from a county in Georgia.
Yeah, I want to hear what you're saying, but can you kind of like stay in one place? Because
you spinning over here.
I'm sorry. I'm in a spinning chair in my community lounge. I didn't realize that. My apologies.
You good.
It's for her or her office to tell Congress to go get the documents from, Department of Justice when she's supposed to. As a part of a grant, you're supposed to maintain all the documents, all the receipts, all the expenditures. And if at any time, I've worked in government and I worked adjacent to people who have managed grants, and because I worked on the contract side, the contract management.
Oh, wow.
When they want documents, and you have to go through an audit, and they want documents, that's your responsibility as part of receiving the grant. So for her to go to, or her office to go tell the government to go get the documents from some other part of the government is just, bravado on a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's so interesting, Sid. So how do you think that this case is going to end up? What's the end result?
I think that the case is not going to make it before the election. That's what I think. And then we're going to have a whole nother conundrum about various jurisdictions across the United States trying to prosecute a president-elect or a sitting president, which would, the country has never been through that. But the outcome of this case, based on the constituents, I could see somebody presenting. I could see a guilty verdict just based on the jurisdiction, the constituents in the jurisdiction, because people are so passionate about it. People usually either hate Trump or they like Trump, and so if it's coming down to that, and they can get this to case, and get through it without, any motions for, dismissing it, I could see a guilty verdict based on that.
So you think that they would vote Trump guilty and his co-defendants?
Yeah, I think they would, but I don't necessarily believe that would be, again, of course, I'm not a legal expert, but based on what I know about the case, I wouldn't pursue. I don't think it's a guilty verdict.
All righty. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming up, Sid. Really appreciate you telling us your perspective on this, brother. You can hit the link anytime. All right.
I appreciate it. And I'm sorry about the rocking chair.
No, you're all
You're
good, man.
good.
You're
All
all
right,
good.
take care.
Shout out to Sid. Yes,
Bye,
sir.
Sid.
Thank you so much. Let's bring up Laura. Laura, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Kind of what's your view on this appeal that Donald Trump's attorneys have lodged today, and kind of how you feel about the case in general?
Well, I remember during the hearing, one of the, I think it was Sadow, actually, he said just if the judge ruled against them, they were going to appeal it regardless. He threw that out there, so it was coming. I did, actually, I messaged Sadow, or Boots.
Did you really?
Through Twitter, and he did respond.
What did he say? What did you ask him?
Well, no, it was basically because I didn't know how much of. All right, I watched the Sean Ryan show. He's a former Navy SEAL, or SEAL. But he was interviewing one of Trump's lawyers in the DC case who left. Well, what I found out was the main guy on Trump's legal team, his name is Boris Epstein, and he is micromanaging all the other lawyers to the point where they can't effectively even do their jobs. So I just I was like, screw it, I'm going to give it a try. So I messaged Boots and I said, look, I don't know how much reach you have as the president. You've been doing a phenomenal job in Georgia. I said, and I brought up Boris's name. I said, look, I don't think some of these people have Trump's interest in, I think he's more focused on the campaign aspect versus, and I don't even know if this guy's an attorney. I could be wrong. But I said, look, if you can contact the president directly, if you just let him know, like, hey, he may have some people on his team that don't have his best interests, and it might be something worth looking into. He said, thanks, I'll look into that. But I didn't expect him to respond to a lay person, but he did. But to this ruling, I was going back and forth about it, and
hang on. Did you tell us what Boots said in response?
He said thanks. It was just short, little lawyer speak. But hey, you responded. You read the message, so
he didn't leave you on red. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. But I was thinking about it, and okay, Trump is the Supreme Court is going to hear his immunity case, and if they, which we don't know, they're going to rule, oral arguments, I believe are going to be, what is it, next month for the immunity hearing?
Mm-hmm. It's next month.
Yeah, and I know the amicus briefs have been filed, and if they decide that he has immunity, all these cases very well may dissolve. A lot of them, maybe other than the Jack Smith case, but they fall apart.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
So this one could easily just fall apart. However, another thing that I'm wondering, since Nathan Wade's off the case and now Fani's going to stay, but she's got, like you guys said, how often do we really expect Fani or Fani to be in the courtroom with Trump and all these co-defendants herself? Typically, no. So I'm assuming she's going to have to find another, special prosecutor, since apparently in Georgia, that's what you guys do down there. But who's really gonna want to take this? It's
a good question. Hopefully she has candidates in a pool that are qualified this time.
It's a body. I mean, if it's a body, that's great for Trump because he sucks.
He's not that great. This is Post-it Kid. He wasn't that great. So I think you're right about that. What do you think the end result is going to be?
Where's Anna Cross?
That's a good question. We're still looking for Anna. What do you think the end result's going to be with this one?
I mean, are you on appeal as far as appeal?
Mm-hmm.
Or as far as it just going forward?
In general, final thoughts.
I honestly, depending on who, I mean, she's got to find another prosecutor who's qualified, Enrico, to take this on. And with so much surrounding this and how much, I mean, finding someone, unless they just don't unless they don't care, and they're like, all right, yeah, let's go after it. You know, they're going to have to start over. They're going to have to spend a lot of money to do this again. I don't know. I could see it going. Do I think she wants to continue it? Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if that means she's got to show up in the courtroom like she did the day she testified with her dress backwards and everything, she might run in there if they're screwing it up. Like, okay, let me take this.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I don't know. I think it's 50-50 at this point.
Awesome. Well, we'll see. We'll be checking in. Thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate it, Laura. You can call in anytime to give us your perspective. All right.
Thank you, girl. Thank you too. Love the show.
Hi, Laura. Good to see
Laura.
you.
Shout out to Laura. All right. Shout out to Laura. Let us keep it going. We got Feast on Your Talents. Feast on Your Talents. Love that name. Love that name. The weak, the hungry, the sick await justice. Seek thy purpose without fear. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Feast on Your Talents. Love your name and love your message too. I used to be like all these attorneys we're seeing in this courtroom, man, all stressed out. And one of the things, guys, and you've probably experienced this in your life, if you've been doing the same thing for 10 years, the same thing for 15 years, you don't have any other talents. Shout out to our military veterans. When they get out of the service after 10 years, 15 years, what else do they know how to do? Well, a lot of times we take it for granted that our military, you know, they come back from overseas and they can just get a job anywhere. And it's not the case. It's not the case. Putting aside, you know, all of the trauma and the stress that they've endured while being, you know, in these foreign theaters, like the skills that they learn sometimes are not really directly transferable. And so it takes a while to get new skills. And that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do when I retired. I had to get a new skill. And it was painful. What was my new skill? This. I had to learn, you know, I was 43, 44 years old, had to learn how to do all of this computer stuff. And it took a long time. But now my man says, seek thy purpose without fear. And I really do believe that I've found one of my callings. Coming up here, talking to you guys, getting to our back and forth, just relaxing. It's so much better. I'm finally happy now in my life. And because it's a calling, I believe, or at least it's something that I totally enjoy, it's been worth it. Even though, you know, my phone number's been leaked, I've been doxed to hell, people talk bad about me, make videos about me. But I would never go back. I would never go back to the law. Ever, ever, ever. And the community that we've established, guys, I think we have one of the best communities on YouTube.
Hands down.
Hands down. And if you take a look at the results, you know, let me show you guys something. If you take a look at Playboard, they kind of keep track of all of the YouTubers, and you can do it in any category. You can look at them and you can see who is the most super chatted. And you could look at it in Japan, you could look in South Korea, in Taiwan, India, all these different countries. But if you look in the United States, they keep track of all of the YouTubers, and you could do it for the week. So if we look at the week that just passed, all right, if we look at the top 100 YouTubers, you guys will see YouTubers that you see H3, y'all know Ethan down there, he's number 73. Shout out to Anton, he's number 69. Some of y'all know these YouTubers, right? The Whatever podcast. Shout out to Destiny. Y'all know Destiny. He was 51 in the nation, right? Some of y'all see and follow these YouTubers. Well, guys, last week, for example, where was the lead attorney? Was I number 87? Was I number 99? You got to go up a little bit. You got to go up a little bit. You've seen some of these YouTubers. Your boy was number 7 in the nation.
Hey.
Number 7 in the nation for YouTubers in the country. And that was for last week. So if you want to go down to the week before, right? Did the lead attorney make the week before? You can go down here. Shout out to Emily D. Baker. Y'all know Emily, amazing content creator. Ludwig, TD Jakes. Y'all seen some of these people. Where is the lead? Right? You go up here. Shout out to Tim Cass, Legal Mindset. Lead right here, number 3 in the nation, number 3 in the United States.
Wow.
Guys. When Feast on Your Own Talent said, hey man, just try to find something that you like to do. You could look at the week before that. The week before that, where was your lead? Y'all seen some of these YouTubers. If y'all follow some of these YouTubers that you see, go ahead and shout them out. Because these are what we got here in the nation. Shout out to Legal Mindset number 22. DUI guy number 16 in the nation, doing great. Shout out to Emily D. Baker, Tim Cass. Tim Cass, how many subs does he have? Emily Baker, how many subs does she have? She's killing the game. Lead attorney number 3 in the nation.
Hey.
Number 3 in the nation. So guys, when I explain to you how to do live streaming, original royalty or Jerome S. Fuck, I don't even know who these people are. Minecraft, right? These 2 people are not going to teach you how to do this. All right, but I know the happiness, I know the joy that being a YouTuber has given me. I was stressed out being an attorney. I was on somebody else's dime, somebody on else's clock. These clients were paying me money and they had all these great expectations, which they were entitled to have. They're paying me all this money. These judges telling me to show up at 9, telling me to show up at 1. I got to rush through my lunch because, I got to show up at 1 and the damn hearing ended at 12. I only got an hour. Now it's totally different, guys. And I'll just be honest with you. The money is a lot better. You had that attorney, she stopped practicing law and she went on to OnlyFans. And what did she say? She said the difference between being an attorney and being on OnlyFans is that an attorney can make 6 figures in a year. OnlyFans, you can make 6 figures in a month. Now, I'm not on OnlyFans because I don't have titties, but if I did, I'd probably be there. But guys, the amount of money YouTubers make, and they don't really show you this, it's a lot. It is a lot. Let me show you. I made a course showing how much I make on YouTube. This is for half of the year. This is $116,000. All right. I'm showing you how much I make. This is for half of the year from January to June. But that's not all the money, because also I sell a course. Over 1,000 courses have been sold, and I teach you how to live stream. And this is how much money I've made for the course in half of the year, $154,000. You got to add that on to the $116,000. So someone do the math, $116,000 plus the course, $154,000. Plus, I'm on Rumble, right? Shout out to Rumble. and I was getting about 50. Those are my receipts. I was getting about $57,000 for half of the year. So when you put it all together, guys, for half of the year, your boy was making $327,000 for half of the year. Just let that sink in. The average American makes what? $50,000 a year, 55,000. Do you know what, for half of the year making $300,000, do you know what that would do for you? Do you know the freedom that it gives you? Don't really think about the money so much. Fuck the money. It's the freedom, right? And that's not even all of the money, because the 327,000, it doesn't include, for example, it doesn't include the Cash Apps, doesn't include the PayPals, doesn't include the consultations, the sponsorships, the brand deals. All right. I've shown you guys from being, top third in the nation, top 5 in the nation, top 10 in the nation. There's no one on YouTube that teaches you how to be a live streamer better than me. You're in the right place. I'm number 1 in the nation. I have 2 courses. These courses, guys, are number 1 on teachable.com. Most of these courses that you guys buy, they cost $2,500, $2,000, and they're 4 hours long. My course, you think it's 4 hours long? No, it's 18 hours long. 18 hours. I put the whole thing in your mouth. And is it $2,500, $2,200? No, $550. And if you use the discount code Fani, you can get it for $350. $350. And I've shown you there is no one in the nation better to teach you live streaming than me. All I'm telling you guys, do not buy this course if you're happy. If you found your calling already, you're not stressed, or you like the stress, don't buy it. You shouldn't really do. Once you're happy, just stay right there in the pocket. I will tell you that I did something for 20 years, and I realized at the end of the 20 that I was not happy. I realized that the money wasn't worth it. My time wasn't worth it. My time was much more valuable than spending it at a place that I didn't want to be. And I didn't want to be in the courtroom anymore. I didn't see how it translated to value for my life. Now, I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm at home. I'm at home. I'm not in the office preparing for trial. I'm in a spare bedroom, guys. In a spare bedroom, but look at the money, right? And look at the freedom that I have. $327,000 in half of a damn year. And I will be honest with you and tell you that I am happy. So buy the course. Just try it. Guess what? If you don't like the course for any reason within 14 days, just email me. Say, this course isn't for me. Do I give you half of your money back? No. 75%? No. I give you 100% of your money back. And guess what I don't do? I don't ask you any questions about why or why not, or please say. No. You want your money back? Email me. You get your money back instantly. None of you have ever heard anything negative about my courses. Not one of you. No one is out here saying, oh, he's a grifter and I took his course and it didn't work. No one is telling you that. So please try the course. Feast on your talents says, seek thy purpose without fear. If you are in a job that you hate, that you're all stressed out, that you need to change, you're making $30,000, $40,000 a year, you got these 2 kids and the money's not really stretching, try something new. $350. If you don't like it, just tell me and I'll send you your money back. 14 days guaranteed. All right. The link is in the description below. Y'all see it right there, Fani. Buy the course. You have no idea what it can do for your life. No idea. All right. Let us keep it going. And thank you so much, Feast on Your Talents. Totally agree with your commentary. All right. Shout out to Feast on Your Talents. Let's bring up again Detroit's HP. We got our man, Detroit. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Could you hear me better now?
Yes, it's a lot better. I don't know what you did, but it's a lot better.
I had something on going in the background. I still messed up the background, but I wanted to speak on what I learned in the course about, and it's something I never thought about, actually building a community. You don't really approach it like, that was a concept that I never had really grasped, that when you start podcasting or whatever, that you actually are building a community of supporters. You know, you kind of look at them like subscribers or, you know what I mean? It's a different take on it. You know what I'm saying?
You're
And
exactly right.
even the part about finding opposition or creating opposition.
Yeah, so you telling them too much now. You telling them too
Hold
much.
on, hold on.
No, I appreciate it. Shout out to you.
Yeah, I like
it. And shout out to Big Al. Big Al is the one who bought him the course. Guys, if you want to sponsor somebody for the course, if you want to gift the course, you can do that very easily. There's a little box that you can check, or you can just email me, tell me that you want to gift the course to somebody, and I will sign them up for the course. So thank you so much, Big Al, for sponsoring your man Detroit right here. Big Al is a real one. And I'm looking forward to seeing your content, man. Looking forward to see your content. What do you think about this?
I was about to give up too much? You said I was about to give up too much of it?
Yeah,
I was
just about to do it.
Excited, but you're right.
No, but I love it. And I appreciate you coming up here and talking good about the course. I really do, because I put my heart and soul into it. I really do.
Most people, when they want to do it, they don't, you know, it already be hard, but then it's extra hard when you don't have a strategy or goal post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's one thing learning how to use the camera. Because I'm 58, so you know, learning how to stream, like you said, whatever. That's that's a part you wrestle with. But then actually building your community. I'm gonna leave it there. That's another thing. So I just wanted to come on here. I want to keep you on now. I just want to tell you I enjoyed the course, and I want to thank Big Al again, because you know what I mean. He loves your show. You know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna let somebody else come up there.
Okay. Well, listen.
You want to ask me something about Detroit?
What's that? No, I don't know nothing about Detroit. Shout out to Detroit HPTV. If one of the mods could drop the link to my man's channel in the chat. Can't wait to see the new content that you've come out. Again, thank you so much for showing the interest in the course and taking it. Really appreciate it. So shout out to Detroit's HPTV. All right, thank you.
Thanks, turn your AV.
No problem. You can hit the link anytime, brother. Shout out. My man just came up just to shout out the course. All right, that's what I love. All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you so much again. Feast on your talents. All right, let me see what we got. Says August More Music says, is there a part 2 to the course? I bought mine last year. Yes. Part 1 is 18 hours, and it talks all about, like our brother said, building community, the equipment to get, how to think about YouTube, how to think about live streaming. So that is part 1. That's the beginners. What is the advanced? What's the advance about? Anybody know what the advance about? The advance is about that money. All right, the advance is about the money. The advance talks about the $327,000 for half of the year with only 165,000 subs. That's what the advanced course teaches. And it's deep as hell. And I'm telling you things that I learned personally, also things that YouTubers who have millions of dollars have told me, have shown me. You guys might not know this, but YouTubers, we're a close community and we kind of stick together. So we talk behind the scenes. We show each other our numbers. We let each other know how much we're making. And, you know, I have learned so much from other YouTubers. I learned a ton from Kevin Samuels. He was my mentor and he was killing the game. And he just taught me so much, and so many other people as well. And so I'm giving you these strategies in the second course, the advanced course, of how really to get the money. All right. So shout out to August More Music. I would highly recommend, if you finish the first course, definitely get the second. And guys, there's a bundle. So you can buy both courses at the same time, and you can use the Fani discount on the bundle. So you're really saving twice. All right. You're saving twice. You can use the Fani and on top of the bundle discount. All right. Let us keep it going. Thank you so much, August More Music. Let us bring up Dylan. Dylan in the house. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good. Kind of what is your take on this whole situation with the appeals and with the situation in general? Kind of how do you feel about it?
I think it's crazy. I mean, I don't really see how you can let the judge to decide to appeal. But like you said, it's unprecedented, and he hasn't. He hasn't. There's never been a case so far like this. So I mean, it's kind of like you said, uncharted territory.
Yeah. What do you think the result's going to be overall?
I think it doesn't even matter because I think, I don't think it's going to go through completely. But let's just put it like this: Donald Trump doesn't really care if he wins or not. I believe. I think it's more about the public opinion, and he's already won that. This is the most talked about case in America. So
Yeah.
You don't think
you know,
Donald Trump cares if he gets convicted or not?
well, not to that sense, but he definitely cares. But to the point of where the ultimate win is the public's opinion, and it's pretty well known.
You
I,
kind
I
of
do.
confused me when you said that you
Well,
don't care if he you don't think he cares in the end whether he gets how the case ends, whether he gets convicted or not. Because if he gets convicted, you're looking at prison term.
well, if he pushes it off, I don't think it'll continue anyway. If they continue to push it off until after the election, then immunity comes in and all that. So I think it kind of falls apart. And I mean, who's going to prosecute it from this point on? How long is it going to take to find a prosecutor?
I mean, that's why you would think he wants Fani kicked off the case, right?
Well, yeah, but I do think maybe so much that he doesn't care, but I do think the biggest part was, exposing all the corruption anyway in Georgia.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, a
and
lot.
probably more cases that are going to be exposed with some kind of corruption or, it's a wild time we're living in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It
And he
is.
really is exposing a lot of corruption. Him, his attorney, Steve Sudow, Ashley Merchant, Jesus, how she was pumping Terrence Bradley for information and
Yeah, man.
all the information. I mean, Terrence really just broke this whole
Yeah.
damn thing open, man.
Yeah, he
Well,
totally
that's why the
did.
judge is stuck in a hard spot because he has, hard evidence on paper, but not from the testimony of Terrence because he couldn't recall anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
never
You
seen
can't recall nothing, right?
I've never seen anything like that. So
Yes. Yeah,
but
it's going to be hard for him to make a living down here in Georgia because I don't know
yeah, Georgia is
who's
a
gonna
place
hire.
where, if you have a bad reputation, it's over with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody
Exactly.
knows everybody, and you get your jobs based on who you know. And once your reputation's tarnished, you might as well just go somewhere else. So
It's a wrap, right? Maybe he can
That's
go
a
to
move.
Alabama or something.
you want to go to a big city. You
He
want to
has
go
to
to a
get
big city
lost.
where everybody knows who you are. Yeah.
He has to go to New York or something, right? Start a whole new
Right.
life.
No, but you have super solid content. It's not biased. It makes, what is it, lay people?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we are. So you break it down, make it everybody be able to understand it. And if they can't, then I
Oh,
don't know.
I appreciate you saying that, Dylan. Thank you so much. You are always welcome to hit the link, brother, and come up and just let us know how you're doing. All right.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
All right. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. Always
Thanks,
come up, Dylan. Thank you so much. Shout out to Candace. Candace says, awesome coverage once again, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Nate Poet. Nate Poet blessing me with $50. What does he say? Nate says, Spencer Cornelia would be all over this course if it wasn't good. Yeah, man. Spencer calls a lot of stuff out. A lot of people are calling out these courses because people are charging, $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 for these courses. And
So
they're like little
expensive.
2 hours courses.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are absolutely grifting. And it is hard to find good courses. It really is. But there are some. And you guys can see from what I do, you can see in the standings how I perform. And y'all are watching me right now, and all of y'all are saying how great AV is and how great our channel is. So if you want to learn how to do this, and I don't want to tell you that you know, you can be a live streamer and you can make for half of the year $327,000 starting off. Because this is not how much I made starting off. I think in my first year of YouTube, when I didn't know what I was doing, because I didn't take any courses in my first year, I made zero. I didn't make any money. It took me over a year just to get monetized. I didn't make any money. Then I think the first year, I think I made like $187,000. I went a dead year just to get monetized. Y'all. It's not taking y'all a year and a half to get monetized anymore. Y'all are on it, but it took me a year and a half to get monetized. Once I got monetized, I think that first year was like 187,000, and it just started going up from there. But guys, I explained all of this to you, how to get this money, all right, and just how to YouTube. But really, again, guys, it's not about the money. Some of y'all are going to look at this, oh, 327,000 for half of the year. Doesn't even include all the money. It's about freedom. It's about freedom, and it's about happiness. Y'all are looking at a happy man. And if y'all would have seen me for the first 44 years of my life, there were so many times when I was happy in those moments, but my life in general wasn't happy. Now, it's like the opposite. Now, if you look at me in spots, maybe I'm a little stressed out over here, this or this over there isn't perfect, but in general, I am happy, and it's a world of difference. So if you, based on your situation, are not happy, just try it. Just try it. All right. I'm showing you how much I make. Try it. The link is in the description below. All right, let me bring up Mile High Gambler. We got Mile High Gambler in the house. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Lee? Man,
Great to have you up here. Thank you so much for coming up. You know, tell AV what you think about this case. How you think it's going?
I think it's very entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. I was actually hoping that the judge would rule in Fani's favor so we can get a little more of that lead and AV content.
Okay,
I'm completely neutral. I'm completely neutral. I just wanted you guys to get this going, just like you guys covered that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. So I'm hoping it leads up to that. So I'm hoping Georgia says, you know what, Trump, you on your own this time, bro. So I'm really hoping for that. Not gonna lie.
What'd you think about the Trump appeal that we read today?
We knew it was gonna happen. I mean, you guys mentioned that multiple times, and I mean, anybody who's blind could see that. I mean, it was gonna happen. Trump's not gonna go down without a fight. He's gonna, claw and paw his way as much as he can, before he goes down. But eventually, I think it's gonna go to trial. I'm hoping it goes to trial. And then, we'll see from there. It's anybody's game from there. I really didn't. I was hoping the judge would rule, but I wasn't really expecting it. So it was a nice little twist. Made my Monday.
There you go. Yeah, because we saw the judge rule on Friday, and then we read these bar complaints. Do you think Fani's going to be reprimanded at all?
Yeah. I believe there'll be some sort of consequence. Whether that's removed, from the Trump trial, or maybe having her attorney privileges stripped down the line. I think it's all going to depend on what goes on from here. If she loses this case, I feel bad for her. I mean, it's going to be, like lead and AV is going to be Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, telling y'all how to.
They're gonna be pushing courses on YouTube. They're gonna be teaching people how to live stream.
Like, for the low price of $500,000, you guys can get this course. One more thing too. I'm gonna definitely get your course, lead. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. One thing I am going in knowing I've actually bought courses before, mainly to make music. And I bought multiple ones because it's always about just trying to find a better a method, better output, or just better connection of trying to find that format that suits you. And I just want to let people know, I don't mean to like rain on your parade, Lee, and I hope you don't get mad, but Don't just buy the course thinking you're going to make all this money. Because I've actually lost money making music, and my friend actually told me, don't even look at it as you losing money. Look at it as an investment. And if you're really passionate about what you want to do and spread your message, whether it's through music or podcasts or whatever it may be, he says, don't expect it to be easy. It's a lot and it can be fast. He said, but it's not easy. I've seen plenty of people, spend thousands and thousands of dollars and they're still working at, Walmart, unfortunately,
Wally World.
So
100%. Some of these courses, like you say, are thousands,
Thousands.
3,000, 4,000, 5,000. If you use the Fani code, guys, my course is $350 and it has a money back guarantee. So Mile High Gambler says, he knows people spending thousands of dollars and losing money. If you take my course, you don't like it, you lose nothing. You lose absolutely nothing. Right. So it's a difference. But yes, these courses are, you can make the mistake and spend $5,000 on a course and you just lost your entire money. So that's true.
Yeah, you also gotta have thick skin, man. I'm not gonna lie, your chat's a ruthless lead. I mean, I'll be watching myself. I bet you someone's saying something sleek right now. That's why I was like, I just turned off the comments real quick.
Good job. Good job.
That's good. Wait till they start telling you they want to cut your dick off. All right.
Yeah, right.
Man, all right. So shout out to Mile High Gambler. Thank you so much. And we're gonna check to see how this case continues, and it absolutely is a damn soap opera. So really appreciate you always in the chat, always supporting us, and really appreciate that. And again, try the course, man. $350.
Oh, I'm gonna buy it. That's a guarantee. I'm not even gonna lie. First time I heard about like people spending money like on Twitch and YouTube, I thought it was silly. I mean, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Kevin, what you mentioned, Kevin Samuels being your biggest mentor. He's actually the first guy I actually really listened live streaming. Him and O'Shea Duke Jackson actually back in 2019. So I mean, it's really blown up a lot since. I've been actually waiting for a while now, but I haven't really been in the best position. But I listened to what Kevin had to say. I really listened to what you had to say. It's about just sometimes being determined and just keeping your head down and planning ahead. And I got a really good promotion, man. I actually got the job title this Monday. And
congratulations.
So now I can afford your course lead and in a nice little place with the spare bedroom so that I can do this.
That's why I'm at, spare bedrooms. Well, listen, thank you so much, Mile High Gambler, for coming up. Really appreciate it. Shout out to you, brother.
Have a good night, guys. Take it easy.
You too. All right. We'll bring up my man Dub Rice. But first, let me bring up a lady. We already just had a man in Mile High Gambler. Let me bring up Tirza. Am I saying that right, Tirza?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Awesome, Tirza. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming up. And what did you think about this appeal that we talked about today? How do you think about this case in general?
So I know that people think that when they see a Black woman, they're going to see a Fani supporter.
A Fani supporter, right?
But I'm here to tell everybody I'm Team Trump. Okay.
All right.
All right. Somebody write Team Trump in the house.
Yes. Black women for Trump. So I have watched you and AV ever since this case broke. You guys have been doing an amazing job. I really appreciate the information that you have been providing because, someone like me, I don't know anything about the law, and you guys have been breaking it down. And so it's just been an amazing time. And I thought I get to catch you guys live this time. So I appreciate you just taking the time out of your evening. And I'm also thinking about buying your course as well. So
awesome. Do you know what type of content you would like to create?
Well, currently I do like my job, so I'm not looking to replace my career, but I am, work with small businesses, and there are so many businesses out there that need support trying to figure out how to get business lending. And so, yeah, so that's what I do on a regular basis. And I help a lot of businesses figure out what they need to do when they go into their banks so they can actually get qualified before they actually go into the bank. A lot of people get declined. So I think I can possibly help people in that way, but I just have to figure out a way to do it around the job that I do because there are restrictions.
Got you. If you like your job, I think that is amazing. I think probably 95% of people in this country either don't like their job or are ambivalent. So to really like something that you do is amazing. It doesn't mean that it's perfect all the time or it's never stressful or anything like that, but it's just that underlying internal joy that you have.
Yeah.
So it took me 44 years to find that, and it's a blessing that you were in it. So I think that is amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing. How do you see this whole case playing out? And what do you think should happen to Fani? A lot of people think, oh, well, she wasn't lying, she didn't tell a lie. Other people are looking at the cell phone tower, information and when she said she started a relationship with Nathan and all this other stuff that she was talking about, in Big Bethel AME Church. Do you think she should have any sanctions or kind of where do you see her after this case is over? Kind of what do you think about that?
I think at the end of the day that Fani may lose her license over the D.
That's terrible. That's a terrible result, right?
Yes. I mean, the fact that she just did all of this and tried to hide it, but then, of course, she got to a place where she needed to tell the truth partially. And, almost $1 million to your boyfriend.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
He got paid more than her.
We don't know what was going on between them. If he was paying her rent, we don't know.
In cash, all that cash being exchanged.
Well, did you hear his wife's divorce attorney saying that they could possibly still be in this relationship, as well as there are more details about money that was going out of his wife's household into Fani's household. Wow. So there's possibly more that we just don't know about as it relates to the money. We know about the trips. We know about the dinners. We just don't know what else is going on between them. But I think Fani she messed up this time. But she still has a huge following of mostly Black women.
Yes.
They attack me. They just don't understand.
No. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I suspect, that I'm going to still get attacked. But hey, we all have a constitutional right to vote for who we're going to vote for. But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong. And what Fani has been doing is, I don't know, it's just wrong. And to support the wrong doesn't make any sense. I am for Black women all day. As a matter of fact, that's what I do in the community. I support Black women in their businesses, and I don't have anything against us. Like, I'm a Black woman, but I cannot stand behind a person that is not ethical. And I think she may lose her license because she lacks ethics. I think Nathan is definitely going to lose his license. I mean, you guys talked about the IOLTA account and him commingling those funds. I'm in the financial industry. I know how serious that is. I've had something similar to an IOLTA account because I was an insurance agent. So I know how important it is to keep your personal funds separate from your business funds. But Nathan and Fani, I don't know if they'll end up together at the end of this or they'll take another big cruise. But I wonder with Jim Jordan looking for the money and everything that has gone to Nathan, do you think they'll ask for any of that money back?
The government could. The government could, especially because it's coming from the Department of Justice. And that money was earmarked for, for children. It was earmarked for the community. It was earmarked for a specific purpose. And if you're taking that money to go on trips, or if you're taking that money to buy laptops for your own office, okay, you used it still for a business purpose, but it's not what it was intended for. And Congress has specific powers. And that spending power is huge, right? So they can absolutely audit where that money goes and how it's being used. So I do think I'm curious to see how Jim Jordan and team are going to question her on this one, because that they absolutely have the right to claw back that money if needed. And I think when we covered the on Saturday, when we were covering the bar complaint against her, the man that wrote it did include a small part on this part, because the shady part is there was also a whistleblower that and it was a young woman back in January. She kind of talked about what happened, the misappropriation of funds, and she was fired. So that's also the big part of the corruption. And that's why Jim Jordan and team are like, hey, this is a little concerning. We've talked to you. And I think there was a gentleman that was probably like 3 or 4 callers ago. He's like, how are you going to say that to Congress? Like, go find your documents over there by yourself,
Yeah, Fani seems pretty corrupt. It doesn't make any sense for you to have all of this going on, and then you want to go after an ex-president as if any of them are going to let you get away with it. But I think Ashley Merchant is the one that really brought forward all of the information in the case to bring us to where we are today. And what's the attorney's name that couldn't remember anything?
Terrence.
Oh my gosh. Bless his heart. I mean, he was sweating so hard on that stand. And and I don't understand why, if you have all of these skeletons in your closet, why would you pursue this? But that leads me to think that Fani doesn't think that she's wrong at all. And the fact that she just continues to push and to defy, orders from, Jim Jordan to a point where they're going to have to subpoena her is just, I don't know. She's just a little bit too arrogant. I think she should go ahead and recuse herself from the case.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming up. Am I saying it right, Tirza?
That's perfect.
Awesome. And yeah, hopefully I will see you on here as a fellow content creator. Although I do want to just congratulate you again on finding a career or profession that you love, because it is so hard and you are definitely in the minority of people. So that is amazing. So shout out to Tirza. You can come up anytime, and thank you for letting us know your perspective on this.
Thank you. And thank you, AV. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Tirza. Good to see you.
Good night.
Tirza. Good night. Yes. Shout out to Tirza. Let us keep it going, guys. I said I was going to bring up my brother. We got Dub right side in the house. Dub, how you doing, brother?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, brother. Talk to him.
All right. Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. What do you think? What do you think about this appeal, Dub, for the shenanigans?
Oh, well, first things first, man. Shout out to TLA and to the beautiful AV to the 7th, man. Y'all doing a hell of a job covering this, and I'm loving every moment of it. I'm loving it. The appeal is exactly what the judge wanted. That's exactly what he wants. Why? He laid it out for him to do it. He went ahead and listed all the reasons. And unfortunately, I know you a dog, he a dog. He 34, I'm 35. I said, damn, I thought he was much older than I was, but I say that respectfully. This is what he wanted. He did this on purpose. He said, normally we kick this down the road and other individuals, the bar, and he laid out the individuals to take this case up. And so when he put that scathing report out, you know what I'm saying? This is exactly what he wanted to happen. It was the easy way for him to go and say, I'm going to go ahead and crucify you, but I'm not gonna be the one who actually removes you. I'm gonna let you deal with the other legal circumstances that's gonna come about what didn't happen in these proceedings, and that's gonna remove him from being in the spotlight when she does get removed from this case. You know what I mean? And so I think he did it calculated. I think that was a very calculated move on him. And those appeals came. The bar complaints, they came following. Look, 24 hours later, it all starts to roll out, and he's like, "Whoo, thank you, Jesus. I ain't got to worry about it now. It ain't on me. It ain't on me."
Yeah.
And so I think that's why he really did it the way he did it.
Yeah. So you think he left breadcrumbs in that document because, like, there was a footnote. I remember reading it. It was on the bottom of one of the pages. And it was something along the lines of, hey, if we want to put a gag order on Fani, if any of the defendants want to do that, I'll consider it.
I got you.
Right?
I got you.
You know, it's kind of like he almost left breadcrumbs. So that is really interesting.
And I mean, because he's so young, surprisingly, because he's so young, I do understand it to some degree. You don't want to really put yourself as a judge. The last person that you want involved in cases like this is the judge. You want the judge to kind of be that individual who's gonna play both sides equally. Let the jury decide what it is. But then when it gets to this, now I still don't want to remove you because I don't want to look I don't want to look like I'm partial to one side or the other. I want to be impartial. But at the same time, if I don't put these scathing remarks out about you, then I'm gonna look partial to you. So I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna let you stay. I'm gonna make sure you remove Wade, but at the same time, now you got to deal with your other consequences. I'm gonna send it down the road and let them be the ones who really mess you up. And I think he was happy to see those appeals. I think he was happy to see all those orders coming through. And he's kind of like, okay, we may not even get to court at this rate. I may not even have to do anything. So let me just kind of sit back, and then he ain't got to worry about his election or anything like that. So I do think it was very calculated on his part. At the same time, to some degree, I wish he would just be real and be like, bro, y'all got too much going on over here. Legally speaking, you done came and you done possibly defrauded the court from the way he's looking at it. You know what I'm saying? He already said he done threw out Terrence Bradley testimony, but he did give some credence to Yerdy's testimony. The only thing he said, it wasn't enough detail. And so when you have those things parsed out, he said you couldn't believe Wade on the stand. So now it's basically Yerdy versus Fani on the stand. That's really what you're going with. And Fani giving detail, but she made herself look horrible on that. So it's so many different things to parse through. But at the same time, I understand this ruling. I disagree with it, but I understand it because there's still other remedies that can happen to correct what's going on right now with what Fani got going on.
Yeah, 100%. Because the other thing too is when an appeal goes up, technically the appeal is disagreeing with what the judge said, right? Exactly. So technically these defense attorneys are disagreeing with the way that the case came out. So in a way, you also got to look at it like the 34-year-old boy that's our age, the bright side, you know, like the appeals court is going to look at it like you made a mistake, boy. We need to figure out what you did. We need to figure out if these defense attorneys are accurate in their statements of law. They have to figure out if you actually abused your power in doing this, right? So it's super interesting. How do you think it's going to end up? Because every day we ask y'all this, and every day there's a different answer. What do you think now? What are you thinking now? Because I know we asked you before.
Well, Cat Williams said it perfectly. 2024 is the truth. I mean, is the year of truth. All lies will be exposed. And what we're seeing right now is lies being exposed. Is there a case against Trump? I think it's a weak one, but at the same time, I ain't got no problem with you bringing it. But if you're gonna bring it, you got to make sure everything in your closet is clean. You got to make sure you coming with a clean slate because they coming after you once you go after him. It is what it is. So to come out and then I want to speak real quick on the church speech. One of the most ridiculous things we've seen. It's ridiculous. Ain't no way you can get up there. And even if you want to go and speak in front of the church, And I believe they brought this out in the documents, but to have a prepared speech and then even say, I got remarks for prepared, but if I go off, I'm just gonna, y'all just let me do it.
No, we saw it.
So I mean, it's just so many different things that's going on. And now you got the whistleblower coming out. It ain't even about the Trump case. It's about other monies that's being utilized in the wrong method. So it's just too much going on for you. You thought you had, and this is just my personal opinion. When she went and met with whoever she met with, she heard federal judge, she heard possibly Supreme Court judge, possibly running for a senator, a congresswoman, whatever. She heard all type of things, and she said, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is my time." And then your house isn't in order, and so now the house of cards start to fall on you. And that's what's really going on. Don't be surprised if you see certain individuals start to distance themselves from Fani Willis because of the smoke that's in the house. Where there's smoke, there's fire. We may not see the fire yet, but when we smell the smoke, what we doing? We go looking for the fire.
100%.
And so don't be surprised when they start removing themselves from her because of everything she got going on.
100%. Well, shout out to Dub, right side. Go Dogs. All right. And thank you for coming up, brother. Thank you so much for supporting the channel so much and just really being a brother to the whole community. So thank you. You can always come up, Dub, right?
Thank y'all for having me, man. Thank y'all for having me. Hey, look, we all buy cable, right? We buy cable. So we support what we watch, right? If you're up here watching this instead of watching your cable, show the same support. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Well, shout out to Dub, and again, thank you so much, brother. Shout out to my man Dub, right side. Yeah, man, a lot of y'all love what Dub was saying and really picking up when he was putting down and talked all about that church speech. And here's the thing, man. Dub is down here with me, with me and AV. We down here in Fulton County. And like, here's the thing. In Augusta, they don't really know what's going on in Fulton County. They don't know about the support. They see things the right way. Certainly in Forsyth and Gwinnett. You can look at a place like Valdosta, a small place like Americus, Dalton, all these different places. But I hate to tell y'all, man, in Atlanta, Fani still got some pull, man. She still got a lot of people who are supporting her. And, it kind of goes outside of Atlanta. Atlanta's geographic, but it also goes alongside of identity politics. I haven't heard a lot of white people supporting Fani. They'll say, well, let's leave Fani alone because it should really be about Trump, but they won't really get behind Fani. But I want to tell y'all, this whole black women, so many black women are behind Fani. And where do black women congregate? Where do black women congregate? They congregate in the church. And so black women in the church and black men in the church, pastors, they pander. They pander to the black women in the church. It's like, man, and where does she run? She runs to Big Bethel, right, to start spewing all this stuff. It's insanity. Let us bring up Greg. AV, talk to your man, Greg. See what's going on, Greg.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Living the dream. How about you guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. What'd you think about today's appeal bought by all the defendants?
Well, I sure hope it goes through. I said the other day that I didn't really care about the politics of it and the big picture with Trump. If I was to get a case brought against me, I do not have a team of lawyers. I do not have a team of private investigators. And so if Donald Trump, with all his money and influence, cannot get a fair prosecution, what chance would I have? So from that perspective, I really hope the appeal goes somewhere, but I don't have a lot of hope. I'm kind of a pessimist in that regard.
Gotcha. What do you think it means if let's play the devil's advocate here? Let's say he doesn't get the appeal and we don't get an appeal and this thing goes to trial. What type of painting does that paint for the public perception?
I mean, like I was just saying, if Trump can't get a fair trial, what chance does the common man stand? You know, like if you listen to Lee's old videos talking about divorce and trying to get your kids, and you know, fighting for custody can cost you, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? An average guy making like 40,000 to 80,000 a year, they can't afford that. That's more than a year's salary just to fight to have kids that are yours, right?
Yeah.
So
Insane.
if all that money and all that influence cannot get you a fair trial, then what chance do the rest of us have?
That's a great point. Given the new news that we've shared, also with what's happening with Jim Jordan and Congress, how do you think that's going to go for Fani?
I don't know. Will they actually be able to? I mean, I understand Congress has a lot of power.
Subpoena power being one of them, you know?
Yep. So they'll probably get those documents, but will they be able to make anything stick? You know, the same way Fani's trying to make something stick to Trump, they're going to have to make something stick to Fani. Stick to
the Fani. And they also mentioned towards the end of the document that they would hold her in contempt if she did not comply. Knowing what we've seen from Fani so far, do you think that she's going to actually follow orders on this one?
No, but she'll give them some documents. And then when they're like, well, you didn't give us everything, you know, she'll come up with excuses just like Nathan Wade did. She'll be like, oh, well, we didn't consider those to be part of the real documents that you were asking for because, you know, these were actually from this scenario. And so we didn't consider it to be part of this subpoena, right? So they really have no problem changing definitions to suit their arguments. And I think they'll continue to do that.
Gotcha. Given the developments today, does it change how you think that the overall outcome of this case is going to be?
No.
Okay. That's fair to say. Lead is muted.
Gotcha. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming up, Greg. I really appreciate it, brother. You can come up anytime.
Oh, thanks for pulling me up, Lead. Appreciate you.
No problem. Shout out to Greg. Let us bring up Polish Lucy. Polish Lucy, how are you doing?
Hi, Lucy.
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. How was your what do you think about this situation here with this case? Kind of what's your opinion on it?
So last couple times we talked, I already said she really effed up everything. Embarrassment is an understatement.
Can you center your face in the camera? Other side. There you go. There you go.
So to say it's an embarrassment is an understatement, right? Forget the women's support, forget Democrat, Republican. This was a really important case. This was about a fraudulent call to find votes, to something that is, to overturn an election. So the least she could have done is told the truth about herself. And I am so tired of people being so sanctimonious, going to church. They're going to tell me how they live and how I should live and what I should do. And meanwhile, you're doing the wrong thing behind closed doors, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to live righteously, but you're okay to do whatever you want to do. That to me is not okay. Do what you want to do. It's your life. I don't care who does what. But not when it comes to something like this. This was too important. This needed integrity. And she dropped the ball. And then to see those preachers, I was sitting here going like I didn't see that video because I had been so busy because my husband's getting ready for surgery. So I just wanted to kind of keep my mind occupied tonight. And I jumped on. I'm like, oh my God, there you are again. What happened? And then we start going through it. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to have content for the next 2-3 months if this goes on like this. Really? Especially if she's running the churches. What the hell are you doing? I mean, what are all these pastors think they're doing? They're not helping her. I think it's actually hurting the cause. It's making me never want to step foot in a church again if that's who's preaching, because it's about being right, not righteous. It's just right and wrong here. You lied. You lied, you lied. We all know Trump lied and was trying to do something illegal. We all heard the phone call, right? Nobody's crazy. But it was your job to put a nice, clean case together. And don't throw stones at glass houses. And my husband says AI needs to take over to take the personal element out of things, because there's no way that in a courthouse people are not going to be shtucken. He saw it himself firsthand. So we're both pretty experienced with that. Y'all going to be effing no matter where you are and whatever profession you're in. So maybe to take that element out of that, something that serious of a case, that would be funny. But power corrupts, and absolute power absolutely corrupts. So this was just another example of, look at the comic books. Even their characters live better than you, And we're talking about fictional characters here. So I don't know, you guys. I'm sad for the country. I'm obviously sad for the state of Georgia because I am a resident here too. And I'm sad for women, because this isn't just about Black women. This is about women. It takes us. Women have to work. Just like Black people have to work 10 times as hard as white people at something to be good or considered good, because I was taught about Black tax in high school from my Black friends. So I learned early how hard Black folks have to work. But women, we have to work harder than men. And then so I put us all together in this one, because she's a woman, I'm a woman, and I looked at it as a woman. I said, no, honey, no. You don't go sleeping with other people, doing that and then telling people you wouldn't sleep with employees. Clutch my pearls moment. I'm like, bitch, please. How can you do that? That to me was like, sometimes I don't get people how they live such a sanctimonious life. I'm just so holy, holier than thou. I'm better than you. And it's not like that. It's just not. We're all human beings. We all do human things. We all make mistakes. And she should have just told the truth from the beginning. Had she told her seniors, hey, I'm sleeping with this man, you got to pull me down, you got to put me somewhere, make sure that this is not a conflict, it would be different. But she didn't mention it to anyone. So I don't feel sorry for the situation. I feel sorry for the residents of Fulton County and residents of Georgia.
Excellent.
And overall Americans, because I got to tell you, a lot of people were in the northern blue states were hoping that this was going to be the chance that he will be prosecuted and held, like Letitia James did in New York. So, but that was mostly civil. This was more, criminal. Obviously, he's looking to overturn an election. So that's 100%. A little bit more communist to me, because I'm from communist Poland, so I know.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming.
Listen, you guys, I'm not going to be around for a little bit because my husband's having surgery Wednesday. It's on the heart. So forgive me, but I'm kind of checking myself out mentally.
No problem.
We've been working on the channel, and y'all, 4,000 subs in 2 months.
Awesome. Well, that is
excellent. Court case right now we're covering is really good. So I'm doing mainly court cases out of Texas. If anybody likes them, check it out. If not, I love you guys. I'll see you when he's better. I just don't know when that's going to be, and I don't want to. I'm being very hopeful.
Absolutely.
And I'm very positive.
We will be pulling for him. So thank you so much. So shout out to Polish Lucy. Shout out to you.
And if you guys are live streaming Wednesday, I'll be at the hospital, so I'll be waiting for you.
All right. So shout out to Polish Lucy. Thank you so much for coming up. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Yes, ma'am. All right, shout out to Jonathan. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so much corruption back here. So much corruption. Y'all are crazy in the chat. Slow down. Like, come on. What has church become? And it's like we talk about Fani using the God card in church. Fani's like pulling out this God card and, doing all this. But also now church is being used for political means, right? And these pastors are trying to extract money from Black women based on this political agenda. Now you could argue, and probably successfully, that the church and politics has probably always been together, right? But just to see it so boldly, you know, all these black pastors, oh, I stand with Fani Willis, and you know, she didn't do anything wrong. Meanwhile, she's over here having sex with this married man.
Married. Let's highlight that word, married.
Married.
In church, and that wasn't acknowledged in any of those clips.
I don't know my Bible like I should, but like it's something in there about fornication. It's something in there about lying, you know, spreading falsehoods, especially when they're under oath. Oh, you know, I never did anything with him. Well, the cell phone tower data shows that he was at your place at 3:30 in the morning. Right? Well, you shouldn't believe cell phone data. And then she's trying to case the young slug, the young slime life case using cell phone data to try to convict these black men. Right? So you're trying to convict black men using cell phone data, but then you're saying that cell phone data shouldn't be considered when the black man's in between your thighs. Which one is it? Which one is it? There's too many black men running around, Fanny. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, shout out to Hazel. Hazel says, my church preaches the word of God. Just come to my church, Lee. Just come to my church. All right, thank you so much for the invite. Yeah, it's super interesting. We got Flicks in here. Shout out to Flicks. And shout out to Mr. Infinitive. Thank you. Do you got any cash apps or anything that you want to
Yes, there's a lot. I'm really sorry these piled up, guys.
Yeah, shout out your folks.
Yeah, shout out to Michael who sends $5. He says, AV, love you guys. Keep it up from Louisiana. It was an IT guy that sent the letter to the Georgia bar. He was on Fox News. I can't find the article. Thank you so much, Mike. Lead had mentioned that he's been doing some interviews, so it's good to see him out and about talking to his bar complaint, which is pretty cool. Shout out to William who sends $20. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. Thank you so much, William. Shout out to Nolan who sends $50.
Big Nolan, shout out to Nolan.
He says appealing AV from a 9 to a 9.5 from Noel. LOL. Thank you so much. I'm a 9.5 now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to Nolan again, who sends $50, and he says paying you back for the cruise with some cash.
Cash.
Thank you, Nolan. That's really, really nice of you.
Shout out to Nolan. Thank you, Nolan.
Shout out to Loretta. She sends $1. She says, tell Lead Loretta is still Team Fanny.
All right. Shout out to Loretta.
Shout out to Loretta. Shout out to Nolan again with $25 this time. He says, I'm going to give AV more money so she could be #1. I think this is when you were going through Playboard. Thank you, Nolan. Very, very nice of you. He is back again with another $25. Nolan says Trump #1 from the #1 cracker. Boo, Fanny. Thank you, Nolan. Very, very generous of you today. Shout out to Luke Garcia. He sends $20. He says the YSL attorney has been arrested. Check her Instagram. It has cash pics. It sounds like there's been an arrest in the YSL case.
Yeah, she got arrested a while back.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago, something like that.
Shout out to the Lost Chicago girl. She sends $5. She says, I've been checking my YouTube all day to see if there were any updates. I'm not late to the game, and I'm not surprised about this. I think she's talking about the appeal. Shout out to Luke Garcia, who sends $10. He says, told client to destroy cell after the warrant was issued. I think Luke is talking about the YSL case. Thank you for that update, Luke. Shout out to E. Capone, $2, who says, boa notte, and he has a little glass of a drink there. Nolan is back again with $10. He says, them pimp pastors trying to drop them panties.
Pastors.
Shout out to Julie O, who sends $20, and she says, ask Lead about Anita Hill Coke can.
Oh, Anita Hill. That was way back in the day.
Was it? Julie is back again with $20. She said, oh, no, that's the same one that I already read. Shout out to Dub Rightside. You were just up here, Dub. He sends $20. He says, appreciate the love from you and TLA. Much respect anytime. It was good to see you again today.
Shout out to Dub.
And lastly, shout out to Darren who sends $1. He says, think the judge and Fani played before? Ooh. Who knows? Who knows, Darren? But they definitely know each other. One of them contributed to the campaign. I think the judge contributed to Fani's campaign when she was running for DA. So those were a ton of Cash Apps and Venmos. Guys, thank you so much. You know, I can't begin to tell you how much that means to me on a day like today. Nolan, especially, you have been super, super generous. Thank you all. I really appreciate it.
100%. We got Terrence in the house. Terrence wants to box me. He wants to box.
He wants to box you.
Now I'm 6'3", but I'm only 240. You know, Terrence about 300, right? He's 300, right? So I think I need to get my weight up for you, Terrence. Shout out to Terrence Bradley. Got Terrence Bradley in the house. Shout out to Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So this was interesting. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you everybody in the comments. Y'all are super, super generous. Thank you to everybody who has purchased the course. And again, everybody who left AV Cash Apps, everybody who left me Cash Apps, Super Chats. Thank you. One in particular want to give a shout out to a few people who just went way above and beyond. Let me give a big shout out to Laura. Shout out to Laura Blackman. Shout out to Sir Nightwolf. Thank you so much, Sir Nightwolf. Al, Big Al. Shout out to Big Al up in the house. Shout out to Stephen Hill. Dub Right Side. All right. Shout out to Dub Right Side. Blessing. Shout out to Nate. Shout out to Nolan. Shout out to Nate Poet. Thank you, Nate Poet. Big shout out to some of the sponsors who had sponsored it before, co-sponsors. Shout out to Life on 18 Wheels. Really appreciated Life on 18 Wheels. Nancy Hart, thank you so much for your super thanks. And Feast on Your Talents. Thank you so much for your support and also your comment, Feast on Talents. You were exactly right. And need to give a special shout out to Keita G. Somebody write Keita. Oh, shout out to Keita G. Thank you, Keita G. Really appreciate it. 100%. So much I am indebted to you. So grateful for you. So shout out to Keita G. Somebody write Keita in the dang chat. All right, guys, we went through this appeal and I explained some of this stuff to you along with AV. Please remember, however, that none of this has been legal advice. I am not your attorney. I am the lead attorney, and I'm here to help you lawyer up. All right, everybody have a good night. Big shout out to Keita G.
You don't have to answer that question. I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.